found the Tony Basilio stream at tonybasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at tonybasilio.com.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We're back together again. Everyone is glad that I'm together again. Go get it for me out in the car. Just like it's in the, when you open the little tray. Old days, old days. Hey, we got a lot to talk about today. So, what Liv is going to inform us about the NIL is one of the things we're going to discuss. We've got Adam Sparks is going to join us. We're going to talk about the Danny District. Brian, what do you want to call it? Danny Disney? Somebody texted me today and said the Danny Disney District. Matt, are you looking forward to making that a part of all of your, when you go to home games, visiting Danny's Entertainment District? Matt, are you excited about it? Matt Diskin.
No, not really.
Well,
I'm not excited about it. Not looking forward to it. So, I mean, I'm sure it'll look nice, but no.
Does it speak to you? No.
No, it doesn't.
What we're going to do is we're going to put it into context today because that's the new wrinkle. And these guys all have to keep up with each other because I won't build an entertainment district. I won't be left behind. You know, no builder left behind. Used to be no child left behind, no AD left behind. Kentucky announced it yesterday. Ole Miss is doing it. There are a couple other schools in the league that are doing it. It's monkey see, monkey do. And it is what it is. Meanwhile, I gotta step out there for Dr. Danny and give it up for the man. Because he's coming correct here, Brian. Dr. Danny's come out, Brian Hartman, in favor of a 2014 playoff, which is another thing we're going to talk with Adam Sparks about here momentarily. Your thoughts on that, Brian Hartman? A 2014 playoff, my understanding is that this is something Josh Heupel, the head coach that he hires, desperately wants as well. They want a 2014 playoff so we can get in the playoffs more, Brian. Thoughts on that?
Why wouldn't they want a 2014 playoff? Because they can make it more often.
Yep.
And it's self-preservation. Just like they want to expand, they want all these tournament expansions to 76.
Yep.
Kim Caldwell will love that because she's probably less likely to miss it.
About Kim Caldwell, Dr. Danny said that she has done a brilliant job of rebuilding her team. I mean, this guy's so entertaining. Meanwhile, Barnes made a visit of show of respect to Juki, who's supposed to fall to the Vols at any time. I'm going to tell you something. Liv is teaching me something here, and I'm going to run it by Adam. Have you guys seen where the Liv golf thing is collapsing? You seen it?
Yeah,
Matt?
it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Now here, this is what's interesting to me. Okay, Liv was not to be confused with Liv Morgan. Titans Bill called me and talked to me about Liv Morgan the other day. Really big fan. Liv shows me that everybody has a breaking point. And the Saudis, ladies and gentlemen, have their breaking point. And everybody has their breaking point. And I wonder, Matt, you and I have wondered this to each other, when these millionaires and billionaires that are funding NIL reach their breaking point, Matt. Because the Saudis, who get their money out of the ground in pretty much infinite supply at this point, have thrown in the towel on losing hundreds of millions of dollars. And my question is, I don't know how you would count it, but in college football and college basketball alone, Matt, how many millions of dollars are being pumped into that thing that's just basically thrown away money? I mean, what we think the number is. We have a payroll here in basketball of around, now that we didn't get that kid, probably 16 million, something like that. Now that we didn't get Tyler Tanner, it's probably going to end up being around 16, 17 million dollars. And who knows, maybe they go buy another piece at some point. But Matt, isn't that an interesting question to ask in light of this Liv development?
Yeah, no, it is. And I mean, each school and each of these, billionaire boosters have different kind of price points and probably different. I don't know. It's
interesting.
It'll be it is fascinating to watch, because I do think you see the changes in kind of what teams are willing to spend each year. It kind of fluctuates, which is the real wild card in this. We've talked about there's no salary cap and no real guardrails, so it's kind of self-policed, and so it is interesting because, I mean, like, Kentucky's not going to spend $22 million to get on a basketball roster, and even if they could, they still couldn't get players to take their money and play there. But yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, because every school will be different as well, and some will fade in, some fade out. Like it's just kind of fascinating to watch.
And you wonder, once you get past the first cycle and the excitement of it all and the wonder, here you go, sweetie, and the wonder of it all, baby, the wonder of it all, baby. Yeah. Paul McCartney. You wonder if eventually these rich people just get bored with it. The Liv guys got bored with that thing, and they were losing all kinds of money, and they got bored with it. They came this close to taking over the PGA Tour. Last year, it was about a year and a half ago, people were declaring that the PGA Tour was dead. No, very much. The old boy was barely breathing, is very much alive. Beat back the stiff competition of Liv. Meanwhile, the guys that jumped to Liv for the money, obviously Mickelson has had huge gambling debts, why he did it. I'll just say that out loud. That's obviously what happened. But Rory and Tiger, they stood tall like the sun in the middle of the day. And Dr. Danny wants a 2014 playoff. Adam Sparks is going to join us on the other side. I agree with Danny White 1,000%. And while we're roughing Danny White up on this entertainment district, then I'm going to have fun with him. I'm going to call it either. Somebody said Danny's Disney, Dannyland, Danny World. We got to have fun with it. He's not the only AD doing this. All these dumb bunnies are doing it, and I don't understand it. Hey, Bri, do the math. You ready? 7 football home games a year. You got that? 7?
Yes.
Plus how many home basketball games, Matt? 13?
There's 15 to 17 home basketball games.
All right, 15 home basketball games. So what we got right now?
15 to 17.
What's 7?
That's about 20, 23.
All right, let's go
23 to 25.
Make it 25. Make it 20. Let's round up. How many home Lady Vol games?
About 15 or so, 16. So you're talking maybe around 40.
All right, so now we're at 40. How many concerts and events? Another 40?
Maybe 2.
40 a year?
2 to 3.
Maybe another 10 or so.
10 a year. So now we're at 50. So what do we do with the other 310 days out of the year? How would you like to run a business, or 316 days out of the year down there? How would you like to run a business down there, Matt? Would you like to buy a lease? Again, I was asking last night, who's going to do this? They said, oh, well, the fat cats are going to fund it. And I'm like, really?
Are they going to? Can we Shiano Sunday this thing?
Oh, save G10. Save G10. Save the Wrigley Field of parking garages.
You look down from Calhoun. We don't need to see a view of a high-rise hotel. The view of Neyland Stadium's enough.
That's exactly right. That view, Calhoun's ought to sue them for ruining that view. There ought to be Danny's going to put a blight. Hey, Matt, it's in the worst part of campus, too. Matt, when you were a student on that campus, how many times did you venture down there for something non-sports related? And think about how far that thing is from all the dormitories and whatnot, Matt.
Yeah, right there, just down there on the roof. Yeah. I mean, it's a great spot, great location, but yeah, it's kind of, not really walking distance from anything else, especially once you take away the biggest parking garage on campus on a campus that already has horrible parking.
Oh, and this thing when Danny does this, and then his traffic. And Sean Sinclair yesterday said he's getting ready to shuttle from Maryville or Farragut. I mean, what do we do? We'll come back, save. We're going to call that thing D10 after Danny builds it. D10 at Danny World. But I do want to put it in context. He's not the only one. I mean, it's easy to have fun with him, but the truth is, we're getting real mixed messages from these people.
He won't be around when the thing's completed.
Go!
He's going to leave a mess behind. And he's going to go somewhere else. He won't even be around.
Let's go,
Why does
Danny.
he care?
Let's go, Danny. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Fan Run Radio, where Big Orange Country comes to talk sports. Start your morning off with your daily dose of talk sports with John Reed and Cody McClure from 8 to 11. Then it's Tony Basilio from 11 to 1. The Playbook with William Pattison from 1 to 3. And The Drive from 3 to 6. It's 10 hours of hard-hitting local sports radio every day.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Gotta love this time of the year. Hoops here, home runs over there, and you've got to get your Tennessee on. And there's only one place, the best place to shop for your officially licensed Tennessee Volunteer gear, Alumni Hall. Hands down, the best store for Vol fans. They've got the latest and greatest apparel for the entire family. Hats, man cave items, decor, and more. Get your Vols grill cover, a plate for your burgers, and of course, that chef's apron for all that outdoor grilling this spring. And accrue those rewards and watch your balance grow online or on the app. We'll see you at Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com and G to the B to the O, Alumni Hall.
Nothing reminds you of how much you rely on your air conditioner like the first really hot day in East Tennessee. Schedule Pipe Wrench Home Services' $79 seasonal tune-up now before the heat sets in. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune your HVAC system to help it run efficiently and reliably while reducing the risk of breakdowns when you need it most. And while we're there, we can also recommend ways to improve your indoor air quality for cleaner, healthier air throughout your home. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when comfort matters most. Schedule your $79 seasonal tune-up today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Offer valid on standard systems only. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Oh, do we have a lot to talk about? I want to shout out everybody down at the Musicians Hall of Fame for making us feel brand new. And they even had like a Philly music display there. I mean, it was all kinds of stuff. The entire music industry is represented there. Wow. It's an amazing place. Go if you get a chance. Run by incredibly great people, just a complete labor of love. I mean, it is just, and hearing the stories behind how some of the pieces ended up where they ended up. Oh, I love it. I mean, the very stage that Jimi Hendrix played on when he was at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, with the King Casuals was there. It's unbelievable, Andy. But let's, without further ado, bring in the great Adam Sparks. He's number one at your News Sentinel, number one in your heart, your team, your town, your Tennessee Volunteers. Adam Sparks, K Pasa, Migo, hope you're well on this Thursday as we get ready to ring out April and ring in May. Brother, the time is flying by here.
Number one at Knox News. I hope John isn't listening today.
John?
That may be breaking news to him.
Hey, Adam, John's not even in the top 10. I don't know where you've been. Number one, maybe like, I don't know, 1993, maybe. At any rate, Adam Sparks is in the mix and in the hunt with us. We're breaking it down scientifically. We're moving right to left across your device. We're doing it with the greatest of ease. It is an incredible day to be alive and well with you. And I'm trying to get myself acclimated here. It's quite a task. Adam, I think we're all trying to just get our bearings about us for this era that we're kind of living in here. And the era is the more things change, the more they change. And the winds of change are blowing again. And you wrote about the G10 project, the demolition of what I call the Wrigley Field of parking garages, being on again, Adam. It's back on again. It was on again, off again, on again, off. But now it's back on again. How much pressure do you think Danny White is feeling from the citizenry for pulling the plug on what we refer to here as the Wrigley Field of parking garages?
Yeah, I always wonder if that's serious or sarcastic when you call it that. I honestly cannot tell. Maybe a little of both. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. From what I've gathered, there's enough of a contingent on either side of this debate that Danny can kind of listen to who he wants to. For example, did the story yesterday, day before that, that it's back on. The entertainment districts are going to break ground this summer. They're going to demo the G10, the beloved G10 garage. And immediately I got a lot of pushback from fans is that, we're saying things like, well, we got to come up with a petition. We got to save G10. This is awful. There's a lot of sentimental value to a lot of people there. They love it for tailgating and a lot of memories there and all this sort of thing. And then there seemed to be a second wave after that. You see some on social media, but I've certainly got it firsthand. Yep. There's a pushback of fans saying, guys, what are we doing? It's a dump of a parking garage, and you're attaching sentimental value to a parking garage. And I don't know which is right. They're both could have reasonable takes on that. And I guess it depends on what your experience was.
Yep.
But I think Danny can kind of listen to either of those sides. So I think he's getting criticism, obviously.
Yep.
But I think anytime he hears that, he can kind of go back and say, well, these other people in my ear are saying, hey, weather the storm, get through it. This is better in the end to get this, big palace of an entertainment district here. So I think he knew the criticism was going to come, but he has ways to get around it. That's for sure.
Michael Stanton said, I had my first college kiss in G10. It'll never be forgotten by the living fan. Michael, I feel you there. The first time I got really, really trashed on pure grain alcohol was in G10. It has
Tony, do you have? Is there a place? And I don't mean necessarily to. Maybe it's in Philly? Is there a place that has sentimental value to you that when you look at it, it's not much? Because I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
my whole hometown.
Okay.
And but I'm very sentimental. Adam, look, I'm a big believer in place, and I hate that we tear buildings down. If you made me king, we wouldn't. Tiger Stadium would have never fallen. The Spectrum in Philly would still be up where I was a kid and watching all those great events. JFK Stadium, where Live Aid took place, 100,000 seat, absolute dump, would still be there, rotting away. But I get what you're saying.
Well, I mean, and see, that's why I try to listen to fans who feel this way. My wife, the enormous sports fan, I think she feels that way about certain places. I've never been in that camp, even as a sports fan. We did the tour of all the major league parks, or my wife did. That was her thing. And I went with her to most of those. And I remember when we went to Dodger Stadium a few years ago, you see it on TV and you hear all these stories and all that. And when I went to Dodger Stadium, I thought you couldn't get into, you had to go to certain gates to get to certain parts of it. It's in the middle of an old parking lot. It's filthy. A Dodger dog is just a hot dog, and I just thought, what a dump. That's what I thought when I was at Dodger Stadium. There was a lot of other parks that were newer parks that I love. Now, again, that's me. When I go to New York and I see Times Square and I see a M&M store and an Old Navy there, I think this is great. This is new and commercial. I'm kind of out of that loop there of having sentimental value to places like that. But again, I've heard from a number of Tennessee fans that say, it's Neyland Stadium and it's G10 right after that. I can't, that doesn't resonate with me, but I know it does with a lot of people.
Well, look, I'm a big place guy. Like, that's why I love that museum yesterday. I mean, they have all this stuff. They were telling me a story about pulling the stage out of the bottom of this place that was going to be demolished in downtown Nashville, which was a speakeasy where Jimi Hendrix and his band played. And the guy that had it didn't even know what had taken place at that property, and they were going to throw it away. And so this guy that had that museum hustled down there, got a trailer, got the original wood paneling that was around this stage, got the stage itself, and recreated the room right there in the hall with even the speakeasy door that they ended up getting. And then a lady later came by that they met and said, hey, I have the window that went to that door. And she gave him the original window to it that you'd open. And they had a little call thing that you'd let them know on the outside. I guess my point is this. Not everything new is proper. And not everything that's shiny and new is shiny and new. and I don't understand how this thing's going to work. They tried to do some kind of restaurant over there where the boathouse is. That was supposed to be the Cat's Meow. That thing went off like a lead balloon. And I just don't see the need for this, Adam. Maybe I missed something.
Yeah, I think the criticism of the Neyland Entertainment District, I think it comes from different directions by different people. One is that this is not going to make money. That Danny White thinks it's going to make money, but it's really not. I don't know that I buy that one that much. You can have plenty of criticism over Danny White that he only cares about money and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing. I'm not sure if that's true necessarily, but Danny White has a really high batting average of picking things that are going to make money. That you can say that shouldn't be his number one priority. But he was hired. He thought he was hired to make a lot of money and generate a lot of revenue. And he usually picks projects that do that. So I do think, that being said, whether it's good or bad, whether it's an eyesore or not, whether it takes a lot of the, a lot of the feel out of campus and all those sort of things, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Whether or not it makes money, I tend to think it will, because I think that's what he bases so much of his decisions on. Now,
what are his money-making projects? Lay it on me. I want to hear these.
Well, if you want the bullet points of all the money he's raised and the money
no, I know
raised,
that, but just commercial shopping stuff that he's erected that's made. I didn't know we got this guy to be a commercial developer, Adam.
Well, now, and that's the thing, is that this is a public-private partnership. That's the big gamble of it.
There you go.
Is that it's a public-private partnership, so it's not all university funds.
Yes.
That's good and bad, I suppose. I think where he could get in trouble, aside from the money part, is if people perceive this as like an outside entity coming in.
Yes.
There's going to be a number of restaurants, a sports bar, those sort of things in the property. At least that's in the plan. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as many local brands as people want to see. There's a possibility of that. It probably will be a mixture of local and non-local, but the developers that they're working with have a lot, and I've written about this before, have a lot of ties to brands that are not in Knoxville. That they're, in Atlanta, they're in Dallas, they're in Kansas City. So if you have a barbecue place at this thing on campus, that's not a Knoxville barbecue place, do people have a problem with that? If you have a name from a sports bar or something that's on campus that doesn't have as good a local ties as maybe some others do people have a problem with that? I do wonder if this is going to be a place that longtime Tennessee fans come to before Vol Walk and hang out there for a couple, 3 hours as if they were tailgating, or is this going to be sort of an Instagram, I come one game every 5 years kind of spot? In other words, the people that are only coming to the Furman game, and that's the one game they're going to go to in their life, they're going to go and experience everything, and that's what it's going to be about. And if it is, it's going to feel a little bit more like something that's for visitors and not for the locals.
I do want to be fair to Danny White, and I said this in our first segment. They're not the only schools doing this, and it doesn't make any sense to me that they're doing this. Maybe I'm missing something. Look, I think that I think we can, the whole public-private thing and the blurring of the lines in a deal where you don't pay any taxes, which these schools, these institutions right now and their athletic departments are getting away with literal murder. I have to pay taxes at the end of the year. They should have to pay taxes. They're in a professional industry. Danny White makes $3 million a year. They should be paying tax on every dollar that comes into that athletic department. Just like I pay tax, Adam, just like you pay tax, but they're getting away with it for now. I don't know how long they get away with it, but at some point that check's going to come due. That's one. The second thing is that the spending and what they're asking of their multimillionaire, billionaire partners. I look at the live thing, Adam. I was talking to you about this today. We thought that the Saudis, who were pumping money out of the ground, were going to have the stomach to lose billions, perhaps billions. Whatever it took to overtake the PGA Tour, and even they threw up their hands after 3 years of that boondoggle and said no mas. And I just wonder if these people, the Danny Whites of the world, the people of Kentucky that announced they're breaking ground on it, because it isn't just Danny. Ole Miss is doing this. Who else in the SEC, Adams, doing this? Because it's not just Danny.
Well, this is the largest of the scale that anybody has attempted. There's a few that have been around that are much, much smaller scale. Obviously, there's bigger ones in the pro sports, which is what this is being modeled after.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the SEC, they're doing some of this. Tennessee will be the first out of the gate in college sports to do it like this, where it's not just a hotel, it's not just a pro shop with a restaurant, but this is going to be the whole shebang. There'll be others, yes, that are in the works that will come soon after. But Danny wanted to be first, and he's going to be first of something of this scale. I think there are institutional, concerns there, and the taxes and all that you mentioned. I think there's a couple things that there's going to be the long term and the short term that that fans are going to have to deal with. The long term is, does this change sort of the feel of campus and of game day? Does it feel too commercialized? And if so, there's probably no going back, because you've seen the renderings of this thing. It's not like they can do it for 5 years and say, well, let's just tear it down, forget it. Live golf, a lot of people lost a lot of money, but it's a tournament and you just kill it and it's over.
Yep.
This is going to be a physical structure. The short term for fans, and I think this will actually matter more, at least on the front end, is that fans usually are not infuriated over necessarily a structure right off the bat. You can turn your back to it, go in the stadium, watch the game. The game feels the same. But what's going to bother people is if their parking space is not the same as it was, and certainly it's not going to be for the short term. If they are inconvenienced in a personal way, people usually get angry if they're inconvenienced. Not the program, not the fan base in general, but them specifically. I parked here and I tailgated in this way and I give this much money, and suddenly because of this thing, I'm parking way over there and I'm not tailgating how I used to. And those types of stories will get people angry, how it affects them personally. And it is funny how people turn that anger into something on the field that's not necessarily connected. I mean, most of the venom that I got about, toward Danny and toward this project is people saying, well, he's fielding a terrible team. This roster isn't good enough. He's building this thing over here, and yet the roster isn't good enough. Well, those two things aren't necessarily connected, but in people's minds,
they are connected.
You can see that because they're giving money that they feel like is going into the pot that could fund either of those things.
Because really, at the end of the day, it's all about, did your football team win?
Yeah.
If your football team wins, Danny White, you can build a replica of the Leaning Tower of Pisa if you want. Yeah, if your football team's winning, you can.
I'm going there in a few weeks.
There you go, my brother.
Yeah.
My lovely daughter was just over there for 2 weeks. So
I'll need some pointers. We're headed to Italy and Greece.
I'll have her. Maybe we'll do a 3-way later, and I'll have her connect with you. But you'd like her. She's a great gal. And so Adam Sparks joins. He's your news sentinel. He's really covered from soup to nuts this entertainment district. I've made fun of it. He's covered it. Adam, though, is in a spot where he knows and has really looked into the designs. The garage itself that's going to be affixed to this thing is going to be larger, right, with more capacity. Is that kind of their plan?
Danny says it is. He tweeted that yesterday.
Right.
Now, there's been some of the numbers don't match up right now because the current G10 holds about 1,800 spots. They're going to tear down 2/3 of that to build the new one and put the hotel on top of it, and then some of the rest of the shops and all that sort of stuff. So it holds about 1,800 now. The one that they got approval for a year ago is going to have 1,200 spots. So 600 less, 600 fewer. Danny said yesterday the capacity would be more. Now, I don't know if he's saying that the garage is going to be bigger than what they proposed a year ago.
Right.
There is a board of trust meeting on Monday. We're probably going to get a little more on this. He may mean the capacity overall is bigger. They have another garage that they got approved last year, some of which is being built now, but I'm not sure if that's the same one that's supposed to add 4,000 spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of fudge the numbers here of, is one structure bigger than the former structure, or is the total number of spaces more, but it's spread out among, 3 or 4 different places. We'll see, but I don't know that we know that for sure.
Danny also says, though, that we have a 30,000 seat waiting list for a team that's predicted to, I don't know, by Vegas to win 6.5 games. I'm not sure I buy that either, but it wouldn't be like Danny to fudge a number or two. This 30,000 seat waiting list thing is, I mean, that I'm sorry, no offense, but that is science fiction if you're believing in that. But it's okay. People can believe whatever they want to believe. Adam, I got to ask you this. Let's pivot here, because really this is where fan happiness or fan unrest comes in. And that's Danny White has now come out and broken with the SEC commissioner, who I got to say, Greg Sankey, is taking a lot of L's these days. First of all, the Big Ten worked him to expand the football schedule by a game, which is something they didn't want to do. But he got worked by the Big Ten. That Petiti guy really outmaneuvered him. And then one of his ADs yesterday broke with him and said, hey, we're for the 24 team. And I don't think, Adam, he's going to be the last AD to say that. But I give Danny White a lot of credit for stepping out there and saying, I want a 24 team playoff. We want to get as many teams in here as we can. Why don't we want a 24 team playoff in the Southeastern Conference? Where do you think that goes?
Yeah, well, I think Danny is doing what he did also in the NIL collective bargaining space, which is he was hearing whispers behind the scenes that more people were in favor of collective bargaining, we're saying publicly. And he's heard behind the scenes now for the last year or so that at least half, I would say, of the SEC coaches want a 2014 playoff. Josh Heupel is one of them. He didn't beat the drum as much as Danny does, but he has said, he told Chris Lowe recently that he wanted that. Kirby Smart wants a 2014 playoff. I think Drinkwitz in Missouri wants one, and then there's a few others. The split here is long-term versus short-term. Long-term, the SEC leadership, Greg Sankey, the chancellors, the presidents, they want no more than a 16 team. There's a thought behind that if you go to 24 teams, the TV networks are not going to pay the extra money that you would have to get to recoup what you lose in killing the conference championship games. So you've got to get more. You got to get more money if you're going to kill the conference championship games. TV networks would not, as of right now, would not give them enough to recoup that. So sometimes in the not too distant future, you got to find a way to generate more revenue. And the thought is the next step would be to consolidate all the TV rights into one, all the conferences into one. And if you do that, the SEC loses part of its monopoly on ESPN, ABC, SEC network. And so they just think it's a bad road for them to go down. It doesn't end well for the SEC. The flip side of that is short term, coaches want 24 teams for obvious reasons.
Yep.
They can get in. Josh Heupel, certainly Eli Drinkwitz, those types, they would get in at 24. They're usually not going to get into a 12. And I mean, there is some truth to that, that would be some self-preservation. I think you do have to be careful what you ask for, what you wish for, because if they go to a 2014 playoff, if you're an SEC coach like Josh Heupel and you miss it for 1 year, you're on the hot seat. If you miss it 2 years in a row, you're fired. So is it not that hard to get into? Sure. But if you miss it, the consequences are dire. And then also, I think we have to remember that, look at the NCAA basketball tournament. Getting in it is not a big deal, and that's going to be even less of a deal. Eventually, people get used to that, and they don't give you credit for just making the tournament. I think we would get to that in football as well. If Josh Heupel were to say, hey, look, I've made the playoff 3 out of 4 years, people would say, yeah, so what? But did you get to the Final Four? It's the same thing Rick Barnes dealt with for years. Yeah, you're in. Yeah, you made a deep run, but anybody can do that. Did you get to the Final Four? And if we go to a 2014 playoff, there's going to be some good but not great coach that's going to get, the nickname of Coach Quarterfinal or something like that.
Yes.
A guy that gets in but doesn't do much with it. And, and that will make people just as angry as not making a 12-team playoff.
Matt Dixon, isn't that the truth? Like, we look at that 2014 playoff as a panacea, as if everybody's going to celebrate that you're in the playoff, when in fact what's really going to occur is you better get in that playoff and you better win a game or two, because going home early 3 years in a row will cost coaches their jobs at this level, Matt, if they think it through. I think Adam's right.
No, yeah, absolutely, he's right. And it's weird a guy like Kirby Smart would be for it, because it just makes his team have to win more games in it to win a national title. So, but it is interesting. But no, I agree with Adam that eventually just making it and even just winning a game or two is not going to be enough for some programs. So, but Adam, I want to jump on a different topic. This Brandon Sorsby deal, I was kind of a really bad situation for him, and he probably is going to be the poster child for gambling in college sports. Did Tennessee have any wind of that? I know there's some reports that Cincinnati knew even before last season that he was kind of caught up in some of this. Tennessee was looking for a quarterback. There were some links to Sorsby early on, but he seemed pretty set on Texas Tech early. Did Tennessee or other schools, do you think, have any wind of this kind of stuff coming to light?
Well, if they did, I didn't know it. Now that doesn't necessarily mean much, but other quarterbacks I know that they were chasing, I did know about those, and I did know that there were some of them that weren't going to work out for various reasons. Now, if they knew about Sorsby, they didn't tell me. Now, whether or not they knew it, there's a possibility. I mean, they do a lot of research. If this was an NFL situation, I would say absolutely they would, because they hire PIs and former FBI guys and all that to go chase this down. A college program, typically you don't know that much background about guys when they are going to come in for a visit, or you're considering having them in for a visit. It is crazy how quickly these things work. They know a little bit of background, but not that much. A quarterback is usually a little different. They do more research on quarterbacks. If Cincinnati, and I've seen those reports too, if Cincinnati did in fact know, then there's a reasonable chance that Tennessee at least knew of the rumors. Because these coaches talk, ADs talk, SIDs talk, beat writers talk. So if Cincinnati did not know, I would say there was about a 3% chance that Tennessee knew. But if Cincinnati actually did know, and a couple of coaches know, or a couple of staffers knew, if somebody in compliance knew, that also can get around. If Cincinnati did in fact know, and they knew it for like a year, there's probably about a 20% chance that Tennessee at least would have known that the rumors were out there.
And see, I give Josh Heupel the win for that, because we were giving him the loss for not going after him. And so whether it was blind luck, dumb luck, just a little bit of luck, or they had wind of it and stayed away from him, I give him the win either way. I mean, to me, it's almost immaterial at this point whether they knew or not, because they stayed away from him. And look, Tennessee, when they put the baseball in play the other day, and Alabama kept throwing the ball away, kept hitting the ball in the outfield, and they kept not fielding it, that goes down as a win at the end of the day. But you're still
when that happened though with Sorsby, did you guys not immediately think, wow, that seems like such a Tennessee thing would have happened to Tennessee?
Absolutely.
Here's
Absolutely.
$5 or $6 million.
Yep.
We got our quarterback.
Yep.
Everybody went crazy at the spring game.
Yep.
And oh wait, he's not available because he bet on games. That seemed so Tennessee to me that I felt like the script writers
that story would have broke the day before the spring game, just like the Nico thing last year.
Absolutely. And I would be sitting in the spring game press conference asking Josh Heupel what happened with Sorsby. Where was he eating dinner at the night before? Like we had to do that weird thing with Merklinger and McIntyre, which, by the way, still created one of my favorite lines in our household, in that in the Nico is gone, Merklinger, McIntyre presser, Jake Merklinger, I remember, kept saying something about the dinner the night before they had at Joey Halsley's house, and he kept saying how good Coach Halsley's wife's tacos were. Miss Halsley's tacos, they were awesome. We had the best meal ever, and he said it so many times that my wife and I still to this day, when we're at a Mexican restaurant, we're eating tacos, he said, these are not as good as Miss Halsley's tacos. There's no doubt. Because that's the only thing that I remember coming out of that presser, that Jake Merklinger could not quit talking about how good the tacos were that they had. He was trying to talk around Nico, but that's the only thing that I remember from that presser.
My son's lovely girlfriend, who's a real sweetheart, he found him a little red hair girl like I have, and I'm calling her because she lives 2 doors down from Nico when all that's going on.
Sure.
And I said, walk out there with your cell phone. I'll give you the coordinates for our for film this. We need some film I'll send it over. She goes, Tony, I'm not doing that. I said, Anthony, be a man, walk out there, take the cell phone, because they knew, like they used to talk about how those people would have literally 50 cars there at the compound. I called it the compound. But here I am. And then I thought about 2 days later, we went over there and saw her. And I was literally thinking about Adam. They had just left the truck, and I was going to go rummage around in their trash and see what I could find. I'm not real proud of myself, but I was real. Laura goes, if you go over there, she said, I'm never going to talk to you again. I was going to go rummage around in their trash can.
I mean,
I
don't know what you would have hoped to find, but
I was hoping to find a couple practice jerseys and stuff and playbooks and, things I could sell on eBay. You know what I mean?
Pajama pants.
As Adam Sparks joins. So the Sorsby thing is a great question, because here's what's going to happen. This is our next little court challenge we're about to have. I think Texas Tech is going to come to the realization that this guy's going to be suspended. And here in a few weeks, they're going to try to talk a blind transfer quarterback on their campus. Just like Mike Detillier yesterday with us predicted that Lane Kiffin is going to try and talk a couple of blind transfers onto LSU's campus to fix their secondary.
Well, I mean, with Texas Tech, the thing is they do have a backup that he had some kind of injury last year. He's still recovering from it, but they thought he would probably be the guy to start this year. The reason they went out and got Sorsby is because they never saw the guy really play much last year, and I think he's going to still be limited maybe in the first 2 or 3 games this year. So they've got a reasonable plan B, which is pretty rare these days to have a backup who you think in another scenario would be your starter, sort of the Joe Milton in 2022 situation. So Texas Tech does have somewhat of a plan B. The question is, do they want to risk, whatever the legal challenge is and the NCAA and all that stuff to do that? They've got the money to certainly do it. I think the question is, who could they get? Like, how good is the guy that they could lure away? If you could get like a top 10 level transfer quarterback to do that, then I guess you do it. But if you're going to go get, to bring it back around to Tennessee, if you can only go get like a Bo Prabula, then the guy that they have that was going to be Sorsby's backup is probably just good. So I think that's the question.
And they're just going to dare the NCAA, right? That's what's going to happen. Either the NCAA is going to tell them, hey, we're going to suspend this guy 4 or 5 games. What do you think the NCAA does here? You've followed this for a decade plus. What do you think happens here at various schools? How do you think because really this is their opportunity to show they still have some teeth here in this deal.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one weapon they have left. I heard you talking to Watson yesterday that this is the only bullet they have in their gun. They tell guys all the time, you do not gamble. So there's no excuse for it. If they don't go after them for this, then they're just simply throwing up their hands and say, we don't do enforcement at all. And I mean, these things have been around for years. usually with quarterbacks. I covered back in my days when I covered MTSU. I covered it was a national case. MTSU had a quarterback named Dwight Dasher. He was back in like 2009. He was one of those like mid-major Heisman dark horse guys that you knew wasn't really going to have a shot, but he had just these huge stats, sort of like the Texas Tech guys back in the day. And he was coming back and had a story that I broke that he had a gambling debt. It was a poker, high stakes poker that he had. The crazy story. He high stakes poker debt to like an 85-year-old veteran at the local nursing home that had roped him in, and he owed a bunch of money to. And I looked back at the previous season and thought, I wonder if he ever did anything to try to pay those debts. And I remember there was a game at Georgia Tech where Tennessee, the year after, blew out Georgia Tech. But this year, they got blown out by Georgia Tech. They were leading like in the second quarter or something. And then that quarterback, I think, had 5 turnovers, mostly in the second half. 2 of his picks he threw to a guy where there was no receiver on that side of the field. I remember one of the picks he threw, he was chasing down a linebacker and could not chase the guy down. So he was going to give a pick 6. And then his offensive tackle ran past him and made the tackle, which told you he wasn't running at full speed. And so, these things have come up over the years with a lot of programs, and you always wonder, I wonder if that guy did that on purpose. And once you find out a guy actually does have a gambling debt or a gambling problem, it seems more likely that something, is amiss on the field than not. And that's where the NCAA, I think, has got to say, if we're ever going to do anything enforcement-wise, it's got to be on this.
Yeah, and really, you can't play with this because we're talking about the integrity of the game. It's kind of like this Rossini thing, and you and I have talked about these national insider people before in all these sports, and it's a tough gig because what they do is they put pressure on local people. They break stories and put pressure on local people, but at the NFL level, when you've got that intermingling, this Rossini lady and what went on with that head coach, and now that people are starting to go back and think about some of the stories she broke, and we've seen several things, there's no question she was doing Mike Vrabel's bidding, but that happens so much. And then it forces guys like you on the local beat to really dig in there and sometimes make stories out of nothing. That does happen.
Yeah, and there are different levels of this. I mean, obviously, the Rossini thing, allegedly, I guess I'll say, that's the far extent of that sort of thing. Sometimes you can get sort of gray areas with some reporters in this, where you can have sources that can help you, and also you can the narrative that they're saying will produce some other narrative that will produce some kind of storyline. And so you can massage those relationships a little bit as long as what you're reporting is accurate. When you get into a situation where, you have a relationship, again, allegedly, with somebody in that way, then there's no gray area at all. Then you're just doing whatever they want, and anything that you write is clouded by whatever is good for that person.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting. The whole thing, as we visit with Adam Sparks, is crazy. And as Matt asks a great question, and which is, did Tennessee know? Because that would have been just like us. And I mean, just like us to get caught in the middle of that. That would have been vintage Tennessee stuff to get caught in the middle of that.
What would have happened if this exact same thing had happened to Tennessee? Tennessee absolutely would take this to court, right? It's the NCAA. If Sorsby was Tennessee's quarterback and he did get suspended for the entire year, I would be at another federal courthouse.
Sure, you would be.
And who knows? It may be the Attorney General again.
Yeah.
And somebody beating on the table, and 50 fans in orange outside, saying free Sorsby or something like that.
Hey, Texas,
I still cannot believe this did not happen at Tennessee.
Texas Tech is going to take them to court because really it's their only recourse. And here's my question, because now that and Matt brings another great point up. Now that Cincinnati says they knew about it, that to me shows that, and Cincinnati's in litigation trying to crawl money back from this kid. So obviously there's animosity there. He's transferring within their league. Obviously there's animosity there. It makes Cincinnati look like a feeder system or a minor league team almost. And so what are the chances Cincinnati tipped off the NCAA to that, Adam?
Oh, I think it's a pretty good chance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're listing off who would have something to gain from this or who could get some type of revenge from it, it would seem like they would have the strongest motive. I have no idea. But if you're just looking at it from that standpoint, you would think so. Maybe not Cincinnati the school, but somebody around Cincinnati. I mean, we talked about Nico leaving here. Who could have, fed something bad to UCLA in the Nico situation? It probably would not have been like the head coach, but it certainly could have been, a fan with strong ties to the school or something like that. I think that's probably that's the most likely thing. I think that's where the Sorsby information came from. I do think the NCAA, let's say they suspend him for the whole season, he's done, whatever. The NCAA in court, if they were to go there, would have to deal with the fact that they did allow gambling recently, online gambling by their athletes. Now, they have the carve out of you can't do it on college games. You can do it on pro games, but not on college. I think they would have to go to court to explain why that is. Now, I mean, the answer to somewhat is common sense. Well, because they're in college, they don't need to be betting on games that they have, have to do with that they play in. But I don't know. Sometimes that stuff does not hold up in court. And I do think they opened up the door just a little bit by allowing gambling. Period. And now they're going to have to. It didn't take long for some type of challenge to come to that.
See, that's my mixed message. My mixed message is, first of all, these kids have grown up with normalized gambling. And then the NCAA had this little misstep where they said, yeah, we're going to let you guys gamble. And then all of a sudden, no, you're not allowed to gamble. We've kind of changed our minds. But I don't know. Matt told me a long time ago that he thinks this is the next epidemic coming in America. We're going to find that a lot of young men are getting their bank accounts drained from this stuff, and he might be right.
Yeah, no, I think he is right. Now, the NCAA knew this was going to happen. That's why they put all their different structures into place. I don't know if you guys remember back, a couple months ago, I had a story of a UT football staffer. I don't think he was a manager. He worked. He was a staffer that worked for like the Vol Network or something like it. Shot video or something for different sports. He got fired because he got caught online gambling.
Oh, I didn't know
this
that.
was a minor NCAA violation at UT.
Oh, I don't remember.
It happened a couple months ago. It happened last season. He had bet on 1 or 2 games in October. So the question is, did he bet on the Alabama game? And if so, did he bet for Tennessee to win or lose the Alabama game? But he had he gambled on Kalshi on their app. Again, it was a very minor thing. Tennessee got a very minor violation, but they did have to dismiss the guy. They did to fire him from his student job over there. And the way that they caught him was that the NCAA has this thing in place that they have a relationship with a monitoring system where they have a relationship with all the different gambling sites. Kalshi's one of them, but they have a whole bunch of others, Polymarket, all those. And if you are a student athlete, your name is in that system. If you are a coach, your name is in that system. If you're a staffer, even a student worker, you're in that system. If you're Dondi Plowman, you're in that system. It goes from chancellor down to athletic director, down to all athletic department staff, and then all the student athletes. All their names are in that system that the NCAA works with. And if your information is entered into a gambling app and you place a bet on anything, you get popped, and the monitoring system will detect it, and they'll report it to the NCAA. And so it's kind of easy to get caught. if you have a credit card that's attached to one of those and it's your actual name, you're going to get caught. So I'm surprised it actually even took this long for somebody high profile to get caught. Or maybe he just didn't. Maybe, and that's going to be some of the evidence I'm sure that comes out. Maybe he just didn't know you're supposed to get like your girlfriend's credit card and account before you place any bets. So don't have that. I'll be curious to see if his actual name was on these things, because it sounds like it may have been.
Hey, Adam, you're paid for your inside information, right? We all are. I mean, people want to hear things, whatever. And so everybody competes. I was talking with Watson about this, and he said it scared the hell out of him to think about you got a mole in the room that's sharing information with the people that have set lines, know what's going on with the team, know that this coach has been, this kid's been fighting migraines or whatever he's fighting with his girlfriend, whatever. They will use information to get an edge any way they can. You just wonder how much of that, Adam, is currently goes on with gambling now becoming normalized.
I mean, it'll happen more and more than it ever has before.
Yes.
And the fact that it's online and easy now, it's going to be ramped up even more. I remember when I early in my career, I covered a lot of high school sports, and I was in Murfreesboro. I used to work the sports desk, and I would get calls every Thursday night. When I was still in college, I'm working there. Yep. I would get calls every Thursday night. It would be somebody it was in a crowded room. It was the same guy that always called. And he would say, hey, Laverne Smyrna's playing tomorrow night. Oakland Riverdale's playing tomorrow night. What? I just, I'm a reader. I was just wondering, who do you think's going to win that game or whatever? And I'd have a casual conversation with the guy every Thursday. This went on for about a whole season. And I'd say, I don't think Oakland can beat Riverdale. Why do you think that? Well, I mean, that practice yesterday, that running back limping around. I just don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. And I would just talk, have casual conversations with this guy. Toward the end of the season, I was told, you're setting the line at the sports bar for the high school games, don't you? And I was 20 years old. I had no idea. And that's sort of how it happened.
Great example of what I'm talking about. It's a great example. Hey, Adam, tell the living listener where they can find you, your podcast, all that good stuff with Knoxville's number 2, the Knoxville News Sentinel's number 2 personality, John Adams, since you're number 1.
Me and John have a pod, the Volunteer State. In print, you can find us, the News Sentinel, online, knoxnews.com, and on X, it's at Adam Sparks.
You're my man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yep, good to be on.
The great Adam Sparks. And I Matt Diskin said, hey, this thing is going to be a real issue. Brian, tonight, the Sixers and Celtics, I want to get your thoughts on that. They're playing a game. Is like Sarah Isger going to be there? Are we playing on CNBC, Brian, or am I seeing things?
That's what I saw, but it was very revealing that Adam once talked to Heavy and didn't know it.
Heavy! Bino, shout out to Heavy Burger.
It's NBCS and Peacock.
What is NBCS? Oh, NBC Sports Network. And the Peacock. Favorite thing about toggling between the NBA and NHL playoffs, if that's what you want to do, or Major League Baseball and the playoffs, is you've got to toggle between different streaming services.
Well, Matt, I'll note that the NHL does not have any of their games on a streaming service. They're all televised regularly.
It's because nobody cares. Matt, you've got to figure out a way. We've got to figure out a way to have a remote that works with all these apps. I mean, to go out of an app and go back in and then having to go back up, and it's just too much trouble. It's too much. And then I'm paying 4 times as much as I was for what, man? By the way, I'm proud of Philadelphia. Not because the Flyers won last night. Flyers got worked last night. Got really lucky to win a game against Pittsburgh. If you're a Pens fan, I feel sorry for you because you got goalied. That's what we call that in that sport. But when they flashed, so last night, and that's what I love about Philly, the Philly crowd never lets me down. If you're part of Philly Nation, you never let me down. except when the Eagle Eye fans act like animals. I don't go for that. So last night, and Cowgirl Kate, thank you for showing me this, but I'd already seen it. But Cowgirl Kate, thank you for staying with the vibe here. The Phillies game got rained out last night. I texted Tony. I said, you need to get over there and watch playoffs. Several Phillies players did. I don't know if Tony did or not, but several Phillies players somehow got access to a box over there. And they showed them up on the screen. And the arena, when they got wind that they were up there, booed the living fire out of those people. Let's go. Let's go. Booed them, Matt, profusely. Pounded them.
I actually saw that. Yeah, that was funny.
Pounded them.
Really funny.
Take a brief time out. We'll come back. That's the flavor of that place. Just people say, you're a maniac. Listen, those people, I come about it honestly because that's just who that fan base is. And we're not for everybody, and I get that. But those guys absolutely deserve to get booed. That's a bunch of overpaid, fat, bored, boring athletes who should have been broken up. We'll continue with more after this. But our baseball Vols are a bunch of underappreciated, to this point, a little underachieving, about to come on like a house of fire, and they've changed the rotation for this weekend. Josh Elander, not going to take it anymore. And they've got the kid from Gettysburg back in the one slot. We'll talk about it. Tegan Kuhns is pitcher Friday night slot once again. I'm going to ask Matt Diskin and Bri if that's the right thing, and then we'll go to the phone calls. All lines jammed, as they will stay throughout. More after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready, because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Got a plumbing or HVAC problem at home? Whether it's an AC that won't cool, a furnace acting up, a clogged drain, or a water heater problem, Pipe Wrench Home Services is ready to help. Right now, when you schedule any HVAC or plumbing repair, your service fee is waived with the completed repair. That means expert help fast without the extra cost just to show up. Our certified technicians will quickly diagnose the issue and provide reliable solutions to make your home comfortable again. And with our same-day service guarantee, you won't be left waiting when help matters most. For more than 20 years, homeowners across Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and surrounding communities have trusted Pipe Wrench Home Services for dependable comfort. Schedule your repair today at pipewrench.com. Same-day service guaranteed, or the visit is free. Service fee waived with completed HVAC or plumbing repair. Restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
Achillio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Had a couple of really cool dudes from Nashville come out and hang out with us yesterday, one of whom walked us out and helped us with our equipment, carry our stuff out from down there at the Municipal Auditorium and where the Hall of Fame is. And we got out to the car and he goes, Carnes Motor Company. And I said, yeah, man. He said, I go out of my way, Tony, whenever I can to support your advertisers. I said, hey, man, God bless you, brother. You keep us in line. You keep us going. And we all took a tour together. The folks that stopped, the lady that her and her husband started the museum, so sweet, walked us around for a couple and a half hours and told us how they acquired everything. And the stories were just, Laura said, I haven't seen you look like that in a long time. I was totally marking out. Totally marking out. Matt Dixon, we're getting ready to visit the Kentucky Wildcats, who are dangling like a loose tooth right now. But we're changing rotations again, or shifting up the rotation. Your thoughts on it, Matt?
Yeah, I kind of talked about it in the recap piece from the Alabama series. It's something that I think the schedule getting done with that series, on Friday gave them some flexibility. Mm-hmm. It felt like the right move to make. take Landon Mack out of that Friday role, and they've just bumped Tegan Coons up, who's been really good the last outstanding the last two outings. He gets the pitch on Friday on normal rest. Evan Blanco on Saturday with an extra day's rest, and then Mac is your Sunday guy with 2 extra days rest. This makes a lot of sense. I hate moving Blanco out of that game 3 role, because I think that's been such an advantage for Tennessee to have a guy that is going to get you 5 or 6 innings with 3 runs or less, like just about every time he starts. But it's a move that the schedule gave you the ability to do, and just the way the guys are pitching, it makes a lot of sense. So I like it, and you just gotta hope that the guys continue to pitch well, those first 2 guys, and especially just your bats continue to stay red hot, which they've been for, I guess, 6 games in a row now.
Coons is going to be pitching in when the game begins, 57-degree weather. Probably when the game ends, going to be around 50 degrees, kind of a cool early May night on May 1st. Saturday, the weather forecast is high of 57, low of 35. When does Saturday's game begin, guys? Low of 35.
I think it's an early afternoon.
Okay, well, that's good.
It doesn't matter. The sun never shines in Kentucky. The weather is never good. It's always just overcast and dreary every time. Doesn't matter the sport. Every time Tennessee goes up there, that's what the weather is.
And then on Sunday, high of 64, low of 35. God, 35 in
Better
May.
bring that heavy coat, Rodney.
And the great Rodney Woods will be holding court out there at the half pipe down in right field.
Matt, you going, Matt?
No, I'm not going. We had talked about going, but decided about a week or 2 ago not to, because Tennessee was kind of scuffling. May regret that, but no, I'm not going up there.
Back to the phones we go, 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunting in the mix with us, love to have you. Is this Dogwood winter, Matt? Which winter is this one in May? Which one? Which winter is that? Do you know?
I feel like I heard somebody say blackberry, but I'm not. I don't know all that stuff. That's not me. I'm not a farmer. I don't know any of that.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hello, Tony. How you doing, buddy?
You can't lead off. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
What do you say, Tony?
Hey, T. Welcome in.
Hey, Matt, I completely agree. I thought the same thing about Evan Blanco. I hated to bring him out of that Sunday Game 3 role. But I read somewhere somebody made a great point. What a travesty would it be in the playoffs not to have Evan Blanco potentially pitch? So I like how the coaching staff has put him in a position. If we're in any 3-game series in the playoffs, Blanco's going to have a start, which is just got to happen. He's your number 2 guy.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. You make sure you get him in kind of a, whether it's a must-win game or, yeah, it's a good point, because he's clearly he's been your most consistent pitcher all year. Doesn't have the high end upside that Coons does, or that Coons has had. But yeah, he's definitely your kind of that Drew Beamish guy that you're going to get a quality start out of him just about every time he takes the mound.
Have you been impressed, Matt, by Elander's willingness to make some pretty strategic changes? And he's certainly not shown to be stubborn in his ways. Moving from coaching third to getting in the dugout, making some lineup decisions. Also being very loyal to the Blaine Browns and the Levi Clarks of the world, which has really paid off. I think we're seeing a coach who is willing to make changes and not stubborn, not dug in.
Yeah, and he just looks more comfortable now. He's in the dugout. He looks a little bit more loose. The times I kind of noticed these last kind of week or so, he's not dug into the analytics sheets and looking at all that, every constantly. He's just kind of out there coaching. Feels like he's relaxed and coaching loose, and the team's playing like it. But yeah, they've been tinkering the lineup, just about every game. But that loyalty that's been a big factor for the program for a number of years continues, and it is paying off right now, and hopefully that does continue. So, but yeah, he's certainly doing some things and not being stubborn like you said. He's just finally. It does seem like he's finally growing into the job, and the team's kind of playing relaxed, just like I think they're kind of following his lead there.
Yeah, he's easy to pull forward. Talking about Coach Elander, he certainly comes across as a smart baseball guy, and we know, man, a high character. But on the reverse, Matt, I despise Tim Corbin and the Vandy boys for a lot of reasons. One is their silly, whatever the thing you call that they do, the non-starters when they run out between every inning and do the silly games. But Kentucky, the Wildcats are starting to surpass them in my vitriol. And so, Matt, I'd ask you, which team in the SEC do you despise the most? And I'll just say that's an Italian manager. I'll just call him Mangi. He is so irritating with his silly way he leads the team and their softball cheers. They just come across. They try to act like tough guys, but they wear those triple padded elbow guards and crowd the plate. I mean, let's face it, you can't even feel the ball when it hits you on one of those. Are they the most absolutely the most disgusting, unlikable team? Have they surpassed the Vandy boys, Tony and Matt?
Yes, absolutely they have. It's the antics, the way they play, the crowd, the play. I mean, they lead the country in getting hit because they can't get hits and they can't hit home runs. They got to figure out a way to small ball you. But yeah, the dugout cheers, all that stuff is just way over the top. And at least Vandy, as much as Corbin's kind of irritating and some of that bring around the rosy thing they do in the outfield is kind of strange, and the Vandy Boy thing, at least they've won and are an established program that's been at the top of the sport. So you kind of you have some respect for them. But Kentucky's just everything about their baseball program is just annoying as hell.
Mangini gives a bad name to Italians. He's the Diana Rossini on the Rossini team. He's the baseball coach because the Rossini team does play small ball. And he's really annoying, and she's annoying. They're both annoying, and they both give Italians a bad name.
Tony, kind of like that Bon Jovi song, you give Italians a bad name.
Correct.
Great points, all above. Last thing, the only thing, two things. One thing real quick, Matt, I agree with you on your Vanderbilt comment, but let's see what they do now that the field has been leveled, so to speak. There's no more 11.7 with Vandy doing opportunity Vanderbilt scholarships to everybody. So we'll see if Vandy ever has the success that they had when they had the private school exemption with opportunity Vanderbilt, if they ever have that sustained success. I submit they probably won't. But then number two, Tony, the last thing, that G10 thing is just, I just think it's absurd. Danny White actually going on record as saying G10 was never built to hold events. Hey, Tony, it was built in 1989. It was finished in 1990 specifically for parking for Thompson Bowling Arena, now known as Food City, for concerts, basketball games, and football games. Does he think that Vol Nation, the common fan, are absolutely morons?
Yes.
And then he proceeds to say that, the new, when we finish the new G10, which I like to call either the Danny Dome or the Danny Disney district, the Tri-Ds, but he's saying it's going to help congestion after the game. Well, Danny, you're the one that put up the human herding fences into Neyland Stadium that almost got people killed, literally, during the Georgia game.
Yes.
And Danny, you're the one that also decided to close all the exits except for one from G10 and the baseball garage, making it an hour plus. Good luck exiting. Yet I just the amount of stupidity that comes out of his mouth, and he thinks we're going to swallow it, is just disgusting. And last thing, the Battery. I'm a shareholder in the Battery and the Braves. Okay, that is a tier 1 large metro city that has 81 home games. Like you pointed out. It also has a lot else going on besides that. It has a population to support the Battery, and we're talking about, like you said earlier, 50 major sporting events a year in a venue in an area that's kind of considered hard to get to for the rest of the city. Knoxville's a tier 2 city. This thing has a recipe for disaster. I don't know how it's going to make money unless the university and private public partnership is going to subsidize these companies who are signing leases. I don't see how it's going to work. It seems like it's going to be a total, complete disaster. Tony, you're the dean, GBO.
You're the man. You're right. You're speaking truth to power. It's going to be a complete boondoggle.
Does anybody tell Danny White no?
No.
Can somebody just step up and say, Danny White, no?
Brian,
no.
He doesn't have anybody in his sphere. That's why he hates this show. Because we ain't afraid. Because you know what? I was here when he got hired, and I will be here when he's gone. And I will serve.
He won't be here.
He
won't be here before the thing's completed.
And by the way, I will serve this fan base and put my head on my pillow before God at night and know that I'm doing that. Because we speak truth to power. I don't understand. I'm trying to give him a break and say, well, other schools are doing it. And Adam goes, no. Not to this extent. They're not.
And
they're
actually
Tony,
cities
no.
where they have more space too.
Adam's going, no, actually, Tony, that no, they're not. They're not doing right. Brian, first of all, Atlanta's got several million people around it. Secondly, they're in a booming area there in Atlanta where they put the Battery. Comparing that part that runs by the railroad tracks down there, which is like no man's land where the G10 garage is. I mean, that is about, and there's no place to walk down there. It's totally uninviting.
There's no room either.
It makes zero sense what this guy's doing, but nobody. I'm surprised that Donde Plowman and the president of the university haven't stepped in on this guy and said, hey, first of all, you need to start talking to people that you work around. That's first thing. And secondly, what are you doing? But they're all signing off on this. So I must be missing something. Maybe I'm missing something that's going to be a rousing success. All right, Blackberry winter. Then we go back to the phones. Blackberry winter is a colloquial expression used in the South, the Midwest, North America. Did you know it's also used in Europe? Did you know it's also used in the Sinosphere in Vietnam and in East Asia? And it refers to a cold snap that occurs in the late spring when blackberries are in bloom. Now, is this the late spring season, Matt, or is this the early spring season? What spring season are we in right now?
Mid-spring.
And by the way, somebody else brought a great point up. Again, I brought Adam on to give Danny kind of we're going to give him a break. And I said earlier, hey, other schools, and Adam goes, no, they're not doing it to this extent. And I'm going, okay. And then he says, yeah, and I've seen the plans or whatever. And it's going to be like national businesses that come in there, not even local businesses. Because people are saying, oh, I get it. We're going to have a little flavor of the Cumberland Avenue strip because that's been stripped away by the high rises. That doesn't look anything like, and it's okay. They
had an entertainment district, and that was it.
But change is change, and that's okay. We all like a little change. And so I'm trying to give the guy a break, and Adam says, well, actually, no, it's going to be national. It's going to be national businesses. It's not going to be like local shops and local this and local that. He said, I've already gotten kind of a glimpse of where they're going. Hey, listen, that ain't Cumberland Avenue. Cumberland Avenue was Vic and Bill's, and it was the Roman Room, and it was Stefano's Chicago-style pizza that Rick Coleman owned, and it was Copper Cellar that the great Mike Chase owned, and it was the Varsity Inn, and it was the stuff the captains had down there, and the list, and Arnold's, and the list, and the lap, and the library, and all the. That's not what Danny White's doing here.
I wonder if
trying
the
to give him a
local
break.
businesses know better.
They're
Got these
never
nationals
going
to
in
come
over
in
there.
that don't really know the lay of the land.
You can't survive there.
Yeah,
Hey,
I think that's the truth.
And I got news for you. The university or somebody tried to do that University Commons thing, and that's gone over like a lead balloon. Now, if that doesn't work, and there's traffic access from Kingston Pike to that, and listen, I'm not a mathematizer, and I'm not in retail. Okay, I'm not. But I'll tell you this right now. If that thing over there didn't work with Randy Burleson's big, huge sports bar, hell, a Walmart didn't even work over there. What is Danny White doing? I'm just asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend. We'll go to the phones. So other colloquial names for blackberry winter include dogwood winter, whippoorwill winter, locust winter, and redbud winter. Different names are based on what is blooming in particular regions during typical cold snaps. There's also, for some of you that are in this audience, something called, and this applies to you, Lindsay Woolly Britches winter. Lindsay Woolly Britches winter. I'm sorry. No, that's Lindsay Woolsey Britches winter, but some of you are in a Lindsay Woolly Britches winter, referring to a type of long underwear which can be put away after the last cold snap. So are we getting ready to go through the Lindsay Woolly Britches winter, Matt? Is that what this is? Is this the last gasp of winter?
I hope so.
Matt, you know me. I was bringing Adam on here to really say everybody else is doing it. Adam goes, no, Tony, actually, they're not. He goes, this guy's doing it bigger. This guy's doing a huge project here. And I'm going, okay, well. And then he says, oh, and by the way, they're not going to have any local businesses part of this thing. That's not what this is going to be. This is going to be and I'm going, oh, okay, well, then I guess I can rip him. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Because if you think for a second some mom and pop business is going to go in down there where at very best, like Taylor was saying, there's 50 dates. Here's the other thing about the battery, Danny, and the battery comparison. The battery has a bunch of houses around it, damn it. A bunch of houses around it. Hello, and hello. Has a bunch of people living around it or residences living around it. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense except for it is an ego stroke for him. And as Brian said, it's something he can put on paper for his next stop, because he's not going to be here for his next stop. Because here's the thing about it, if we're going to be honest here, if Tennessee goes out this year and struggles in football, there are going to be a lot of Danny for the first time is going to feel the heat pushing him through the night. And I mean the heat. I mean the heat on him. And here's why. I already know that if they go through with this thing and they tear the Wrigley Field of parking garages down, and they go through with this thing, okay? And they tear down Bino's Mecca, G10, or Bino's Medina, G10, his sacred spot. And people can't park on a campus because they've got this thing under construction for something most people don't want. And then you've got the most attractive home schedule we've had, Matt, since how long? Since how long, Matt?
I mean, as long as I can remember. I mean,
why would you do it now?
With a lot of storyline.
Matt, why would they do that now? Why would they break ground in the summer? Why wouldn't he wait till the football season's over? What's the big rush? I'm just trying to figure this out. What's the big rush?
I haven't even mentioned, we haven't mentioned the students having to park and using that garage to park for classes.
Yeah, it's the biggest parking garage on campus, I believe.
And then I'd say to Adam again, I'm trying to
parking issues and has for decades.
I'm trying to be a nice guy. You heard me. I said, Adam, though, he's going to have more parking spaces, right? Bigger park. He goes, no, actually, the math doesn't add up. I'm going, okay, well, guess we'll have to rip Danny in the next segment. I was trying. I'm over here trying. I'm like, let me tee this up. Okay. First of all, he's not alone. Actually, this is the biggest one. It's the most grandiose. But it's going to have like a local flavor. Actually, it's not. But there's going to be more parking. Actually, no, he's doing fuzzy math with that. Which Adam's doing his job there. He's he's actually doing the math. Hey, Danny needs somebody to do the math. Because if you think there's a 30,000 seat waiting list, to quote the great Rob Halford, you got another thing coming. Because that is a joke. The other day, they were over there when they had their Nike sale at the complex, putting people on their waiting list. What's your name and your email address? And your name goes on their little list. They can pretend like they have a waiting list. This guy is a phony baloney, is what he is. Let's go back to the phones. But he's better than you because he's related, and that's how he has his gig. No offense to him. I didn't do it. But and he has done a really great job of raising money. But here's the thing. You can get a lot of money out of this fan base. Many people have down through the years. Now, they're pretty cutthroat. Him and his lieutenants, the way they go about it. I give him credit. I mean, because he goes for it. But let's go back to the phones. You play the tape forward here. This team has a young quarterback. They've got a really hard schedule. Say you win 7 games, 8 games, even 8 games, people are going to be mad. It's just the nature of it for what they're charging people. And then you're not going to be able to park on the campus if you were in G10, where you had all those tailgates and all those memories is going to go up in a funeral pyre. And will Danny White, Matt, take pieces of G10 now that he knows people have some sort of sentimental tie to it? And will he sell remnants of G10, Matt, in a sale? Just like they sold the lavatory doors over there in the stadium.
If they hadn't thought of it by now, one of his lieutenants listening to the show certainly does now. So yeah, I'm sure they will.
Back to the
chunk of G10.
Back to the phones we go. I mean, what are we doing?
Can I just say I love how opposed to this Brian is. I agree with him, but I just love how this is one of those topics that Brian really takes a hard stance on, and I'm for it.
So you like it when Brian brings the juice, is what you're saying?
Absolutely. I don't want him to do it too much, but I wish he'd do it a little more often. But I love it when Brian gets heated on a topic. I'm always for it.
People are cracking on my eyebrows today. If you want to make fun of a man with alopecia, go for it. If you like making fun of people with autoimmune diseases, go for it. Whatever gets you through the night. I'm here for you. What can I say? Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Brian being outraged is awesome because it has real gravitas when he is, because it's not something that happens very often.
Correct.
People that are always outraged, I just roll my eyes at. But when Brian Hartman is furious about something, it speaks volumes. I don't want to get into it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't see how it can work, because I don't see how you can have something work whenever there's going to be 30 home baseball games a year, 16 home basketball games a year, and 7 home football games. I don't see how that works.
What is this guy thinking? I know they got concerts, and I know, and I had another 20 concerts.
But I mean, even the concerts, that's not going to bring out a crowd of 40,000.
Right.
To have overflow for. I mean, on a college football game day, if you got 25 of those a year, where there's going to be 25,000 people that just party all day and don't go in the stadium, which I've had a ticket and ended up just staying at the tailgate all day and not going in the stadium and watching on TV at the tailgate or whatever. I mean, those days will be huge, but I mean, it's anyway. I was really calling because I've heard the narrative about we can't collect a bargain now because there's just no way you're going to get a Sorsby or a Chaz Coleman or whoever who's making the money to go along with this. But what these ADs, these presidents, if they really want to make them employees, or like Danny White wants to make them employees, he's already said we need a collective bargain. But there's some that don't. But if they all got on the same page and wanted to force it, don't you just need a majority of the student athletes to say we're going to collective bargain? We're only going to do 3-year contracts, no 1 year, no 2-year contracts. So guys are actually going to sign and be employees. And then you go to the golf team. You go to the swimming team, because it's all student athletes that become employees. And you get those people that aren't making any money to be the majority in the collective bargaining. And that forces the schools to like divvy up to where a Sorsby isn't making $8 million while the fourth string cornerback, the eighth string cornerback is making $50,000. Everybody's making a minimum, and you have all the schools have a maximum. You can collective bargain this, can't you, Tony? Or am I completely off base? If you get the majority to say we're going to unionize.
Here's the thing, though.
Sure.
At the university level, they have to have the stomach for wanting it, right? Which they don't. For some reason, they don't. But then also, you would need somebody that's on the union side, Rusty, to go to all those athletes off the beaten path and say, okay, look, all these revenue generating students. That's right. You guys have a voice here. Here's the problem, though, on these campuses. The longer this goes, because these revenue sports are going to get so expensive, I think they're going to fold down some of the other sports. Arkansas has already done away with tennis.
Oh yeah.
It's an irritant. It's an irritant, Rusty, to field these teams or to field them. And that's what we've done.
But that should be an incentive for the presidents and the ADs to do this.
Yep.
Because you're going to have to cancel swimming and diving and soccer and all those other sports that aren't revenue. You're going to have to cancel all those if you keep paying the football team and the basketball teams these exorbitant contracts for all these athletes, and you're wasting all that money there. You're right. But that should tell them we want to keep it the way it used to be, but the kids are allowed to make money now, but they're all going to make money. And the top tier guys aren't going to make 100 times what the last place guy is.
You have a great point. I mean, there's a way out of this. For them to throw their hands up and say there is no way out of this, there is a way out of it. But it would take somebody with initiative going to the smaller sports students while they're still on their campuses and using them as a tool to get the other folks to into the bargaining table. Because if they just go to the major sport athletes, Rusty, to your point, that's well thought out. They're never going to get those kids to sit down. Why would they?
Oh yeah. If I'm Sam Levitt, why would I ever join in? But Anywho, that was all I really want to talk about, because I've heard people throwing the narrative that we can't do this because you've got players that are never going to agree to do multi-year deals.
Yep.
Well, yeah, you do. You just aren't going to get the top tier ones to do it. So
that's right.
It takes a look. So I wanted to see if I was wrong or if I wasn't seeing the big picture, because I wasn't sure if I'm right. And so if you can ask Adam and John,
I'm going to talk to Marcos. I want to talk to Marcos about that legally, in terms of, because it's a land grant university. There are still Title IX considerations with all these sports. That's a reason they haven't broken off yet with their Super League. That's a step that if you do that, you better be willing to fight that Title IX stuff, because a lot of this commerce that they're not taxed on, Rusty, which is amazing to me, goes on in these universities that are generating all this rep. I mean, Danny White's making $3.5 million. It's crazy.
Well, and also schools like Mississippi State,
yeah,
or Wake Forest,
right,
would want this. And the student athletes, even the ones getting paid at Wake Forest and Mississippi State, aren't getting paid what you're getting paid at LSU. They would want a minimum for all my student athletes and maybe a maximum for the top tier guys that would force these things to happen. Why aren't we talking about it? Why aren't we pushing for this so we can get back to guys not going into a portal every 6 months?
Solutions.
Or every 12.
And to your point, there will be players this summer that are going to blind transfer. And you know what they're going to be able and they're not going to be able to do anything about it, Rusty. They're not going to be able to do anything.
It's going down. It's going down quick. Anyway, I'll let you go.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. Meanwhile, we've got Titans Bill. Bill, I've got an assignment for you. You ready?
What's the assignment?
The guy from Diamond yesterday, right? From the Titans. What was that about? Why did he resign? I want the breaking news on the other side. And I also hear that Nashville is getting ready to bid on WrestleMania. And I want your thoughts on that. And what else did you want to talk about, Bill?
Let's see. I found another professional wrestler that I'm idolizing.
Idolizing or oogling over?
Or oodling. Well, I'm oodling over, even though I'm old enough to be your father.
Matt Dixon, do you like where this is going right now with Titans Bill?
I always do.
So we're talking about whom, Bill?
Kendall Gray.
Kendall?
She's 24. She's 24 years old.
Bill, you're old enough to be her great-grandfather. As we continue with more, stay right there right after this. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw, available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. Like our 2026 football Vols, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times, 80 proof of vodka, delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's premium vodka, T3, Tennessee's premium vodka, distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee.
Big news, Basilio family. Get ready because the 2026 Knoxville real estate market is officially shifting into high gear. All signs are pointing toward a record-breaking year, and the energy across East Tennessee is absolutely electric right now. Whether you've been dreaming of finding that next home, looking to capitalize on your current equity, or ready to dive into the investment world, the timing has never been better. Having a game plan is the key to winning in this fast-paced market, and I'm ready to help. Give me a call, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904, or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Who's ready for some Smokies baseball? Catch all the action next week with your favorite promotions. Kicking off the week with Cinco de Mayo. Then all you can eat Wednesday, Knox Vegas Thirsty Thursday, and over the weekend, we've got Feel Good Friday. And do you like gum? Yes! Well, how about Big League Chew? Good, because Saturday, it's Big League Chew night. Get ready to blow some bubbles, and we've got fireworks. We're closing out the week with our day game, and we're celebrating Mom. Next week's plans are set. Get your tickets now at smokiesbaseball.com.
Man, I love that Big League Chew. She just fired me up, focused me, and prepared me for that. I'm pumped when I think about Big League. I love Big League Chew. Matt, have you ever taken Big League Chew, taken a whole pouch and stuck it in your mouth where you look like Don Zimmer?
Man, not the whole pouch at once, but yeah, I've partaken in that.
I've swallowed tons and tons of gum before. So next level. If we weren't in the lunchtime hour, I'd tell you about it, but I can't tell you about it. We'll go to the phones. If you want to get in, we'll do some overtime today because we haven't done any the last couple days. Phillies are already trailing Tony Vols 2-0. I text Tony Vols, wished him luck. He goes, "Really, you're a Phillies?" I said, "Tony, how many times I got to tell you this, Chief? Blood's thicker than water, bro. We share blood. We the paisans. There's two types of people in this world, Tony. Let's go to the phones. Get as many people in here as humanly possible. Shout out to Chris Lowe, who remembered a couple spots on the Cumberland Avenue strip, and I remember the spot where Monster Mash back in the day was dancing with a lampshade on his head. Shout out to Monster Mash as well. So we go back to our phones and get our next call in. And Bill, Cumberland Avenue has zero charm now. Like, I don't know if that was the goal, but I know that all things change, but this Danny thing that he's doing, this guy, nobody will say no to him. Nobody. Hey, Danny, you could get some people hurt. That Georgia game, if you go through. Nobody. No, the guy's like unsupervised. It's amazing. Anyway, bring Bill in here. We'll see what's on his alleged mind, and I do mean alleged. Bill, what happened to your president yesterday? Why did he quit on his own? Was there something going on there? Is it like a dynamic? Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, the way I look at it, Tony, I believe he was forced to resign.
Why? They just had a great draft?
Yeah. He was either forced to resign by either Borgonzi or Amy Adams drunk. Because, look, who's the one that hired Chad Brinker? Simple answer, Rand Carthon. Only one thing that I feel that they're wanting to do is clean up the mess that Carthon made.
Brian, do you like the way Bill says Brinker or Borgonzi better? Because his Brinker is pretty good as well, Brian. Which one are you going with?
I'll go with Shirley Jones. I like how he says that better than
Why would he crack on you like that, Bill? Why? Why would he feel the need to cheap shot you?
Well, Brian, he always loves cheap shotting me. I just let it go in one ear and out the other.
Hey, Bill, I'm thinking about Danny's fire sale and what we want for the studio here, like a little memento of G10, which really is the Wrigley Field of parking garages. And I remember the night that I brought a 11-year-old Kaylee, my daughter, to Monday Night Raw with me, Matt. And she said, "Dad, do we really have to go?" As we were going up. And then we got off the elevator there at G10, Matt, started walking towards the arena. And she looked at me, and a woman had a spray-painted homemade shirt on, Matt, that said Thugonomics on it. And my daughter said to me, Matt, she said, "Dad, what is wrong with these people?"
Outside of like Dollywood, I'm not sure there's better people watching than at like a live wrestling show. It's incredible.
Thugonomics. I'll never forget that. It was literally spray painted on like a Hanes beefy tee. And she was, how do we say this? Kind of beefy. Bill, let's stay in the wrestling vein. What do you think of wrestle? My understanding is that WWE was going to be the first event in the brand new stadium, but Amy Adams jumped in there and said, "No, we're going to christen that stadium in 2027. We're going to be the first event." Bill, I'm looking for an opponent where the Titans fans won't be outnumbered in that building.
The only thing I could say in a matter like that, the Titans need to start winning.
Bill, they're not going to win this year. Bill, they're not going to win this year.
I believe they will. If they can finish at either 8-8 or 9-7, I think things is going to look up. But Tony, I just cannot see us having another losing season.
Oh, I can.
I can.
Very clearly. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Bill, you guys are going to have a losing season this year. Come on, Bill. How many games did you win last year, Bill?
We won at least 3. But I think things is going to look. I think things is going to turn around.
You're doing Danny White. What does at least 3 mean? What is at least 3, Danny White? What does that mean? At least 3? Did you win 3 games, Bill?
We won at least 3 or 4.
Bill, what do you have more of an update when we get to our overtime segment here that's going to occur for some reason? Do you have, Bill, more of an update on your women of color list or your WWE, your women wrestler list? Because you told me the other day you're compiling a list of women wrestlers.
Yes. Well, let's see. Becky Lynch.
Yeah. No, I don't want your list, Bill. Bill. This fella, man, Negative needs coaching. Hey, Negative, why don't you call me in the overtime and we'll talk about Juke Harris? It was wearing me out last night with texts about Juke Harris. Now that Juke Harris is staying in the draft, I go, Dave, where did you get he's staying in the draft? Ladies and gentlemen, the playbook with William Pattison is on the way next. Peace. We love you. God bless.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
So Negative feverishly texted me last night. Bill, you want to hang out with us in this segment? Just kind of talk?
Yeah.
All right, 865-200-5402. If you want to hang out with Titans Bill, I'm back in here with you. And it's our overdrive overtime. Bill, how badly do you want to get into this list of women, and how long is it? The wrestling women.
It's not that long. It's not that long. You have Liv Morgan.
I don't want the list. I will call Matt. How long do we have to do this with this guy?
All right, Tony. All right,
nonsense for 10 plus years, Matt. How long you been calling,
Good
Bill?
Lord.
How long do we go back, Bill? You and I.
I've called you for a long time when you were at WQBB.
30 years?
Yeah, and I really started calling you. I really started calling you in 2005. That's when I was a regular caller of yours.
You've been a serial.
That's when you were at WIMC.
You've been a serial caller since 2005. No, actually, then I was at. Let's see here. I was trying to put that on paper the other day. It was exhausting. God, if you get in this business long enough, you jump around. But for the last 20 years, I've been on my own. So jump around. I jump up, and jump down. Hey, Matt Diskin, and I'm not kidding here. What was I going to ask you, Matt? Come on.
Tony, it's like this. We've been friends for a long time.
This guy's sucking the brain out of my head. Matt, what was I going to ask you? Come on, read it to me.
I'm not sure where you were headed. It can kind of go anyway when Titans Bill's going on. It's a great phone call from Titans Bill whenever Brian doesn't torpedo it, in my opinion.
See, I agree with that. Brian tried to introduce Shirley Jones and hijack your phone call, Bill, really, because I want to get into women of color. And I want to get into WWE divas and anybody out of AEW. Have you looked over?
You pulled me into that by asking me what she liked to say better.
Have you looked over?
How do I like what he liked to say better?
Have you looked over AEW stable?
So I gave you a reply.
Or Bill TNA stable. Have you looked over TNA stable?
Yeah, I watched that AEW for the first time, and I'll tell you what, it was okay. But look, Tony, WWE will always be what I would consider the silver limousine of pro wrestling.
In other words, they're like
with gold trimming.
They're like Kyle Blackburn's mother, who's listening to us right now, Ann Holt.
Yes,
because she is what, Bill? What do you liken her to?
I liken her to a silver Rolls Royce with gold trimming.
And if you could, how would you outfit her, Bill? I want you to tell Kyle this because he's listening.
Okay, I would outfit her in a beautiful lavish blouse with pants, a silver fox fur stole, a 99-carat diamond necklace, and
Matt, at what point does this become creepy for Kyle? Or we already crossed that line? Because he's getting ready to talk about a 24-year-old wrestler.
Oh, you've crossed the line big time already.
So, Bill, I got to tell you something here. Kiffin's Wrecked Lexus shares on YouTube that he met Liv Morgan at Clancy's a few years ago. He said, I just started talking with her. I never realized who she was until she went back to her table. And I was at SmackDown that night, and I went, oh, that was Liv Morgan I was talking to. He said she was totally down to earth, completely normal, like a girl next door kind of thing. Bill, give me your list right now. I want you to go 1. And Liv right now is 31 years old, Bill, in case you're interested.
Okay. I would have to say number 1 would be Becky Lynch.
Go 5-1, Bill. 5-1. We always go 5-1. So you like the man? Who's the man? Who do they call the man? Matt, is that Becky Lynch? She's the man. So okay, let me give me 4 in front of her. Go, or however many you have.
Okay. Kendall Gray, who's 24, and my nephew and your son is older than her.
All right, hit it.
And another one, Charlotte Flair.
Okay, that's Ric Flair's daughter.
Yeah. And let's see who else I could put on there.
Rick cut a promo the other day on Stevie Richards, one of my Philly boys. He cut a promo on James Romero, who's a great YouTuber, and Dutch Mantel, another podcast that I enjoy. I love Dutch Mantel's podcast.
And let's see who else I could put on there. And, of course, Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan. So you have a list of 3. All right.
I have at least a list of 4. Okay. Lynch, Gray.
Right.
Morgan, and who else? And Flair.
Matt, you being a devotee, Matt, of wrestling, okay? How many of those names do you know?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. Could you imagine, Bill, if he'd have been watching wrestling back in the Attitude Era, Matt, what he would have thought about that stuff?
I kind of don't want to know, actually.
Okay, let's go back here, Bill. Updated. You told me you wanted to update your something. There was another list of women you wanted to update. He told me this the other day when he called me.
Well, okay, I'll list you the women of color. Judy Pace.
By the way, the other day when we talked and had our 3-way with Mr. C, how long was the 3-way?
It was very long.
Matt, we were on the phone with Mr. C for 2.5 hours.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
C was downloading Bill on a myriad of topics. I wish I would have recorded it.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that. I would love to know how that conversation went.
And by the way, to Adam Sparks asking me if what I was doing with the G10 parking garage is really a bit. Hey, Adam, let me tell you something about art, bro. When we do art here, I don't tell anybody how to interpret what we're doing. Right, Bill?
Right.
We put it out into the ether, Adam, and it's up to you to decide. It's up to you. But I'll tell you this, Adam, you've got sources over there. Thinking back to those wrestling shows, thinking back to the monster trucks and all the great concerts we've seen in that place, like Fish, etc. Matt, I want one of those handrails that runs from G10 all the way to the arena. Just a piece of a handrail, Matt, that I would put in here. Can you imagine, Matt, some of the DNA that's on one of those handrails? Now that we're not in the third act, now that we're in the third hour. And what's the thought of that make you want to do, Matt?
I mean, it's just kind of creepy and weird, but fits the show.
I want a handrail.
Personally, I'd like part of one of the black curtains to remind me of the buzzball days.
Hey, Tony, I want to give a little message to somebody if you let me.
Bill?
Amy Adams Strunk.
Yes.
That new stadium belongs to the state of Tennessee, to the city of Nashville, and to the taxpayers that help pay for it. It don't belong to you. So I would say put WrestleMania first before the season starts. So there, Ms. Drunk, take that. You could put that up in your
You know what you're doing,
Virginia
Bill?
Slim and smoke it.
You know what you're doing there, Bill?
What?
We're having like a roast of her, which reminds me of when you shared Dorothy Doolittle's roast.
Yeah.
Was it Dorothy Doolittle?
No, it was Julie Herman. She's the one that gave me your sandwich.
Matt, your thoughts on roast beef and the fact that we're going to make it a reoccurring term this summer, reoccurring bit.
I'm sitting this one out. Get Brian's take on it.
All right, Bill. Let's go through this. Brian, I need your take, and don't cheap shot Bill. You ready? No cheap shots here, Brian. You ready? Brian?
I'll just torpedo his phone call.
No, don't torpedo his phone call. Brian, how many opponents could the Titans have in their building where the opposing fans, for their opener, where their opposing fans will not outnumber season ticket holders? I'll name a team. You say yes or no, that the opposing team would outnumber the Titan fans in there. You ready? Because really, that's what their building is. Their building is going to be a building where people are going to come in and see Taylor Swift and WrestleMania, and it makes sense. And really, they're the building that when they take the field 9 or 8 times out of the year, depending on the number, they're going to have, a lot more visiting fans come in there. That's got to be great for their economy, the Titans. All right, here we go, Brian. You ready? Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys will have a very loud contingent of fans.
Steeler Nation. They'll outnumber the Titans. Go ahead, Brian. Go.
Steeler Nation, definitely.
Las Vegas Raiders. Kansas City Chiefs, Bill.
Yeah.
We have more members than the Kansas City Chiefs, yes or no, Bill?
I'd say yes.
Bills Mafia. No, you were not going to outdraw Bills Mafia. There's about 3 or 4 teams, Bill. Maybe
and a couple of them are in the division.
Maybe, the Jacksonville Jaguars is one. Who's
and the
the
Texans
other one?
are 2 of them that I would
Texans.
say definitely there won't be more visiting fans of than the home team.
Bill, the Titans, no offense, but y'all are embarrassing.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I believe we'll have a win. I believe we'll have a winning season. I'd be very disappointed if we don't, but I believe I just cannot see us having another losing season.
Brian, give me a prediction.
Because the last 3 years was a train wreck, and I just cannot see another train wreck this upcoming season.
The Colts, will they draw more people, Bill, or less? What is that? big thing. Good gosh. Is that a piece of that board? Did you just cut that? Hey, Bill.
Oh, Tony, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, when I was watching a Rick Nyman sports report, they did a survey on who had the best draft.
Right.
Between the Falcons and Titans.
Right.
And guess who the survey picked?
Well, Bill,
the Falcons. The
what?
Falcons, yeah.
No way. That's
Well,
totally homerish.
I saw that. You know, one night on Jesse's on late night with Jesse Farley.
Is that what we're calling it now? The news down there.
Yeah, at 11 o'clock, late night with Jesse Farley.
Bill, I've got a dear friend. I need you to sing happy birthday to him, okay?
Okay.
Because you and I both know that you only get so many trips around the sun. Right?
Right.
And it's all precious.
Mm-hmm.
And you do enjoy you do enjoy making people's day, singing happy. I forgot, when's Tony's birthday? We got to get you to sing happy birthday to Tony Valls.
Okay.
Can I still call him Matt, or is that offensive to you? Because I think the man knows he made a mistake. I don't want to offend anybody.
And I do not, you know, I'm still not buying. I do believe that Danny White ran him off.
You are?
And, you know, hey, and that's the fact. That's the fact when I'm telling you with my hand up.
I want you to sing happy birthday to Jimmy Woods.
Okay.
He loves you. He's listening to the show right now in the Mid-State. He's the incomparable, the borderline immortal Jimmy Woods. Hit it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my good friend Jimmy Woods. Happy birthday to you.
Bill, you're the man. And my message to you is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're out of here. And by the way, to the callers that hung up, come back. Don't be like that. Good gosh. So we had a 17-minute phone call with Bill. I thought he brought some good information, Matt. Didn't you? And Brian, didn't you guys think that he brought... Whoa! Didn't you guys think that he brought some good stuff today to the table, Brian? Where you at, Brian? Did I lose my guys? Yeah, we had like a weird little thing happen in here. Let me see if my guys got detonated here. We keep having not now. Yeah, we had like a little blip. Can you all hear me, Bri? Give me some smoke signals. I may have to detonate. Yeah, Bri, you can hear me. Okay. Well, boys, that's it for phone calls. Matt, anything else you want to add? What do we expect from the baseball team this weekend? Oh, I guess these guys can't hear me. Let's see here. What's going on? Run for your life. Run for your life. People like this. They say they like. It's very endearing. Let's see here. Why is that not working? What are we doing here, Tony? This is the part of the show where I go, help. Help. Nothing's working on this thing now. So to the living listener, tomorrow we've got a great show lined out for you. I've got, not only do I have the great Mike Huguenin, who'll be in with us tomorrow, who's always fun. This thing just quit working. Not only do we have the great Mike Huguenin, who's always a blast to be around. But we also, tomorrow on the program, we're going to have the great Chris Burke with us of Let Them Eat Cake fame. And Berkey is going to be next level. And I'm greatly looking forward to commiserating with Berkey tomorrow. And this stupid thing, for some reason, is not working. Let's see if I can get it to work. Huh. I think I'm going to stay on here until I get this to work. This is starting to urinate me off. But I do look forward to visiting with Berkey. We have a lot to talk about. I don't see how those guys following the sport that they follow, I just don't. How do you get a grasp on that thing, right? How do you get a grasp on it? Join voice. Okay, those guys are out of here now. Matt and Bri, try to come back. I want to see if we fix this. But I've told you we've got a ton going on. Got some big plans. I can't reveal them right now, but we do have some plans. We're making our plans and we're checking them twice. And I hope they work. Has everything quit working in my studio? Am I just a man on an island here? What am I going to do? I think I'm going to hit the panic button here. All right, on the way out, I want to thank Brian Hart for being here the last couple of days. Tomorrow, we're not live at Calhoun's, nor will we be live at the Entertainment District. Matt Diskin, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yeah, something happened.
Back.
I had a blip in here. We had a blip with our outgoing, whatever it's outgoing. We had a blip on YouTube there momentarily. Really strange. Really, really strange. All right.
I wish it happened at the beginning of Titans Bills phone call instead of the end.
Anything else you guys want to get into tomorrow? Anything else, Matt? Anything else you've got that you would like to get into? Matt Diskin.
No, we kind of circled them all today. Obviously big baseball series need to continue the momentum.
Yep.
Need to take 2 out of 3.
Yep.
Not going to be greedy. Just get 2 out of 3. Go up there and win. Don't beat yourself, because that's what Kentucky thrives on is letting you make the mistakes. So not do that. You're kind of equipped to handle some of their small ball stuff more this year than in the past, but the hit batters would be a concern. And then even though Tennessee's bats have been hot, that's definitely a pitcher's part. So if you get in one of these lower scoring games, you need to just figure out a way to win.
Mark Cofield's wondering, will Danny give a space for a studio in his entertainment district? Do you think I could reach out to him on that, Matt?
Zero chance of that.
Oh, come on.
You're probably the only person that will never be on the ticket wait list.
I ought to call over there, Tony and Laura Basilio. People say, do you hate the guy? The answer is not at all. I find him amusing, really. I find the guy so amusing. You heard me today, Matt. You know me. I was trying to kind of be gentle about the whole thing and sort of walk it back. Adam was like, no, it's going to be less spaces. No, it's going to be national businesses. No, it's what was the other one? There was one other one I was trying to get. Oh, well, they're all doing it. No, not to this extreme. They're not. This is pretty extensive what they're doing. And I'm going, oh, geez. So what you're saying, Adam, is I've got to just keep poking fun at this. I just don't. People are calling him Danny Mullet now. Is he growing his hair out, Matt? I haven't noticed. Have you seen it, Brian? Danny's new do? That'd be so Danny if he grew a mullet.
Maybe someone's Photoshop, but I have seen something about.
Man, you know what he would look good with a hairdo of? Especially since he colors it. He would look good with the hair of the guy that just got fired at Oklahoma State. One of the great sports mullets of all time.
Mike Gundy.
Yes. Mike Gundy. Steve Tannehill, the late great Steve Tannehill, one of the great sports mullets of all time. Mike Gundy is certainly one of the great sports mullets of all time. Turn the volume down. What does that even mean? People are saying it's hot now. I don't know why the YouTube feed would sound like that, but Laura's not listening, so. She would come down here and fix it. I wouldn't know how to fix that. But anyway. Well, I hope that doesn't continue. See, these are the things that can pop up and crop up when you're doing what we're doing. You're just kind of going along. You're sort of minding your own business. You're sort of doing your show. All right, let me do one thing. People are wondering about Juke Harris, and I'm tired of saying the same thing every day, so I want to encourage you to go over and check out the blog at tclub.team, because we've got a little write-up on how Tennessee's played the Juke Harris thing and why I find it brilliant. Because that one player has been projected so many places by people that know. The problem is that agents and teams like to play games and have fun with people. And I've had fun had with me in the past. What do you think that is, hon? Any idea? Huh? All right, is that better, YouTubers, in real time? Is that better? Laura just hit a button that I don't even know idea how it works. Yes, it's better. Matt, do I play helpless on the radio, or am I helpless? You've seen me around. But why? Here's a question for you. Why would that all of a sudden be needed to be turned down? We just lost all our stuff in here for momentarily. Well, you can't answer a question with, I have no idea. That's not. Of course you have an idea. You just went over there and turned that button down.
Ton, that's not an act. That's not a radio bit. That doesn't blur the lines like the Wrigley Field of parking garages does for Adam.
The rapper DJ said the only thing she can't do is style Tony's hair. Thanks. Matt, we need an opening act for Danny's District. That's a great idea. That is a great show topic. Danny's Disneyland. How do we kick it off? How about that wrap off? How about if we sell the concept of the multicultural wrap off between Rapper Andy and Florida? We'll have an SEC tie, Tennessee versus Florida. We'll have Florida in a Tebow jersey. We'll have Rapper Andy in, let's see, Peyton Manning jersey. Maybe we could get the sheriff up there judging it. Do you think Danny would be open to that if I pulled myself out of promoting the event?
No, I don't think that quite fits his criteria. I wouldn't think.
Salty Vol, you're a simpleton. I'll tell you something they're going to need if they keep raising these ticket prices in his venue. Another thing we ought to do is what stores should we put in there? But he'll need a check cashing place if they keep doing what they're doing to the fans. He going to need a check cashing place. because you're going to need a payday loan soon to pay for your tickets. I mean, when does this end, Matt? Liv shows me that it ends at some point. I'm going to learn from Liv here. Eventually, the people that have the gold either get bored or they just say, that's enough, we're tapping out. How about the Saudi oil people, the House of Saud? How about them tapping out, Matt? I think that's a very interesting development that I will tie to NIL.
Yeah, it is. It is, because they could easily continue to bankroll and fund that. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that it's gone away this quickly, because it did have at least some star power at the beginning, but with some of the names, it never really took off, I don't think. So the only good thing about it is it did kind of change how the PGA approached, like the PGA Tour approached things, and they had to, kind of like the NCAA, they're always reactive. They kind of had to do some modern things and advance and do some things a little bit better. So that's kind of been one of the pluses of it. But I wonder if there's ulterior motives to shutting the thing down now, or even just how the thing got started.
Right.
With that Saudi money.
Here's the other thing about the ulterior motives. I'll say this for Live Golf. When they designed it, it was stupid as hell. It was a stupid product. It was dumb and silly. It could not have been taken seriously. It'd be like playing the game of football and having 5 first downs. It made no sense. The team golf made no sense. The names of it made no sense. And whoever thought up the Indoor Tiger League, whoever thought that concept up, hit on a winner. Absolutely hit on a winner, Matt. Hit on a winner.
Yeah, that's been kind of cool. Kind of got a nice little niche there. I've not watched a ton of it.
Kids love it.
Frankly just forget that it's on. But yeah, it is pretty cool that it's kind of caught on, and it's kind of a fun little event there that they how they do it.
Somebody wants to have a Jim Knowles look-alike contest. They think that Bear would win that thing hands down. Do you think Bear bears a resemblance, a.k.a. Robbie? Do you think that he bears a resemblance from Dubsy's show to Jim Knowles?
Yeah, that's a good comp there. I like
good
that.
Pull.
Good
pull.
Good pull.
Will there be a casino in there? An entertainment district casino? Chase Smith is wondering.
There'll be plenty of ATMs, I'm sure.
Danny might have the biggest money wall in the world, the way he thinks. And then what would the ATM fee be, Brian, to pull money out of that money wall down there?
Probably $10.
Like in casinos, sometimes they soak you, which is kind of funny. It's just further remembrance that you're really up against it. When you go to the money wall in the casino after you've lost, and they hit you for that fee. Chase thinks 120% is a good place to start on what you withdraw. And Kiffin's recollects. See, we ought to do a show on this. All surcharges will go to the NIL talent fee, Matt. That's how you couch it. That's how you sell everything now. Everything goes towards the NIL talent fee. I mean, these people are really, really sharp, the way they figured out how to get people to part with their money. They used to have these commercials, Matt, back in the day, where they would say, you're giving to the VASF Scholarship Fund to help fund scholarships. Well, we don't talk about that anymore. We don't talk about that anymore. $100 donation to use the money wall. I think a check cashing place, though, would really work there. in light of that. There will be a Nike store there. Yes, Matt? That's a foregone conclusion, right?
I think it'd have to be Adidas. Right?
I'm sorry, an Adidas store. My bad. We're switching. That's right.
There'll probably be a team shop down there. Yeah.
Have to be.
Sure.
There's got to be a bank, like a big bank branch.
Big bank branch. Yep. Like whoever First Tennessee is now, whatever they call themselves. But see, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do. They had to put like a big Walmart there and like a Big Lots. Big Dog's wondering, does a Hibbett Sports go there? I mean, what would you put there? Seriously, like what is there? That's my thing, Matt. When I think about what there's no need for anything there. I'm telling you, you're literally a mile as the crow flies from where a Walmart went out of business, y'all. You know how many Walmarts go out of business? And by the way, Randy Burleson, that thing went out of business. That big sports
and they had
bar
like a tremendous, huge, big screen TV.
That's
in
correct.
It, where the coaches actually took recruits.
That's correct. I just I don't know. But I love Adam. Adam says, well, you know, he's really good. I go, Adam, how many brick and mortar stores is, I mean, we're talking about extorting money from fans, okay? And yelling in a lady's ear that's 82 years old, can I get that check for $1.2 million? It's a little different than running a retail district. It's a slight departure. But I opened today's show. I give Danny a lot of credit. Not a line of credit, a lot of credit. 24 teams, he's right. They need to go to a collective bargaining sooner than later. I don't know if he's spoken out on the 68-team basketball thing. Matt, imagine having 2 play-in tournaments there at the end of the year. What are we doing, Matt?
He's for that. He's for the expansion of the tournament.
Matt Dixon is?
I mean, Danny White.
Oh, of course. Oh, is he?
Yes. Seems like I read that this morning.
The Live Entertainment District. That's pretty good. C. Brent TV3. No Kimmy talk today. No, we did get a Kimmy mention in the first hour. You have to go back and listen. Danny called her reconstruction of her roster masterful and genius-like, I think that's how he described it. So no Kimmy talk today. Nope. Matt, what is a better chance of work in the entertainment district or Kimmy? Because that's a close call, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, I guess probably the entertainment district. Although I do think Caldwell's got a better chance to make it than we probably gave her on the show, just because she is a young coach. But
agree.
You can flip your roster, but
agree, and you can flip your roster in that deal.
A lot of growing up to do, or just a lot of learning to do as a head coach, because she's just so young in her tenure, and she clearly doesn't know how to handle being in charge of a program as big as the Lady Vols.
Pruitt's Net Gator says Tony will be apologizing after Kimmy wins a natty and the district is booming. And you, sir, are, how do we put this? You're huffing paint. And I wish you'd stop. And if you give me the coordinates, I'll get help to you. But let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. Take another call, and then we'll call it a day on a day where the Tony Vols and the Phillies are playing too. I can't call them Tony Vols anymore, Matt. People are telling me quit doing that. You're not Tony Balls when you leave?
Well, I mean, I think you can still do it.
I mean, he's my guy, dude. And he loves this place. Like, he tells me that. He misses this place.
Hopefully he comes back often next year when baseball's in a strike.
I wonder if the year turns into a miserable time for him. I wonder if he gets back. This Elander guy's really growing here. I want to give him a chance. And Matt, I like the fact that you said something earlier. You and Taylor had an intelligent conversation that I just stayed out of the way of. I wonder if the analytics thing, if he's just said, hey, I got to get away from that some, because those shifts weren't working. And now, not many coaches, when they start winning a little bit, would make this change that he's making. But maybe they do have an eye on the postseason. Maybe that was their thought. We want to bump this kid up to 2 at least, because then he gets to pitch in series baseball. You know,
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You still have work to do to ensure you're in the postseason. But yeah. I do like the move. You just kind of know what you're getting with Blanco.
Yep.
Especially the way Max struggled the last two outings. You can't have your Friday night guy, only go for, 4 innings, much less, give up the amount of runs and hits that he has, because he's been hit around pretty good. And just got knocked out of games early. And with Tennessee's, lack of bullpen arms, you can't afford to do that in game 1 of series.
From the we can make stats say anything we want him to stay department, is this number that Elander's the first coach to have 30 wins in his first season at UT. I mean, that's generally speaking, when you take over a job, I'm not here to be a party pooper. You're taking over a train wreck. That's why that coach got fired. And at Tennessee, there have been no handoffs like this one, where the thing is moving at a high rate of speed. So at the very minimum, he better have set that record. At the very minimum, ladies and gentlemen, boys. No offense, but that's not. I've seen the number. I don't go, wow, boy. You agree with me on that, Matt? As our call has left us. Our call got impatient. Or I got wordy.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly inherited the best situation of any coach that's ever taken over there for baseball. Granted, you flipped a lot of roster, but just the way the program was, and he's not. It's not like he's a new coach there. He didn't get hired from somewhere else. He was a part of all of it. So it's just kind of an extension of what you had. So that's kind of the bare minimum would be to set a record like that. But no, you got to. Got high expectations with inheriting such a great situation and setup. So
I mean, he better won 30 games. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully you get near that 40 mark.
Exactly.
By the time the season's over.
Right. I think the guy's really growing. The shifts and all that stuff are driving me nuts. I think the third base coach thing was hard for him to give up, but he did it. And hopefully this thing stabilizes. They keep hitting the baseball, and we're out of the turbulence. Sooner or later, we're going to be out of the turbulence. I mean, that's the way the sport is. And then you start getting some breaks. And maybe game 3 against Alabama was one of those games, because this team's lost on some crazy catches at the wall. A couple of balls that should have gotten out that didn't. Weird ways to lose games. It all evens out. And as Zach Scott says, the previous coach was winning 50 games a year. So I'm not sure if he was going to win 50 with this team. I don't think he was. But I like that. And I like that people want to throw numbers around, and it's great. If that makes you feel good, good. That guy was not hired to win 30 games this year or break that record. So, hype to minnow offense says Garza owns you. Garza? Marcos Garza? Nah, Marcos Garza's a beautiful guy. He doesn't own anybody. But I'll tell you what he is. He's great at what he does. And I love representing him on here. I'm proud to represent Marcos Garza. He's really, really a good man. Great family man, good dude. Loves his community. Plays hard in the paint. Goes hard in the paint. I love me some Marcos Garza. All right. Brian, will there be a dress code in the district? Everybody must wear schmediums. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Columbo. How you doing, buddy?
So I'm a little bit out of the loop here. I mean, what are we complaining about?
I'm not complaining about anything.
They're getting rid of a complete eyesore of a parking garage and putting in a bunch of retail and hotel shops to make some money.
Literally the Wrigley Field of parking garages is what we call it on this show.
Well,
if you want to go with the Fenway Park, maybe the Louvre of parking garages.
No parking garage has ever been described as anything beautiful or worth saving.
This one, though, has a bunch of family memories and has had generations tailgating on it since its inception.
Well,
and
I think you could drink your Miller Lite and eat your hamburgers, a lot of different places.
Boy, that's really an arrogant comment. Why does Mark come off sometimes as an elitist Yankee, Brian? Why is that with Mark and Columbo, who we love, Brian? But why does he come off as an elitist Yankee sometimes?
Do you think it's a place where you can get a T-shirt with a ticket? Or a ticket with a T-shirt?
As Columbo said back in the day when he was being dismissive. Why are you so dismissive toward our fans, Columbo, and so in love with the administration, Columbo?
I don't want Danny White playing commercial real estate developer either.
Oh.
But if this brings in a bunch of money, then I don't see the problem. They got to pay the athletes, man. They got to find the money somewhere.
How is it going to bring in a bunch of money? How about putting better teams on the field to bring in money? A shopping district on a dead end of campus?
Tony, those restaurants will make their entire year in 7 days.
It's pretty cockamamie. You have to admit it's pretty cockamamie.
Those restaurants down there will make their entire year in 7 days. 7 days.
No way. No. Do you?
Yes way.
No way. No,
yes
sir.
Way.
No, you're very naive. Do you believe
they'll make their entire year on 7
Mark,
days?
Mark. I know restaurateurs. You're being very naive, son. No offense to you. You're being extremely naive, Mark. They said the same thing, Mark, about the Walmart over there that was in the footprint, and that Walmart went out of business. It's called
Tony,
location.
The restaurants will make their entire year in 7 days.
Mark, that's not true. I love you repeating that. You have to staff a restaurant.
Well, how will it not? That place will be jam-packed on game day.
Mark,
you no longer have to go to Market Square.
Mark,
you no longer have to go to the Strip.
Mark,
you go down and spend your money right next to the stadium.
Mark, if that was the case, okay, everybody.
Fieldhouse Social was jam-packed on game day.
Thank you, Brian. They made their money in 7 days, and it went out, Mark, because it's harder than that, Mark. Or everybody be doing it, Mark. Give me a break, Mark.
I don't understand.
Mark. I understand a lot more about the restaurant business than I probably should, because I've gotten held some bags down through the years on the boulevard of broken dreams along the way. That is a tough slog, the restaurant business. Trust me. A lot harder than making your money in 7 days.
I get it, Tony, but I don't understand what the big negative here is.
The big negative is,
and I agree. I don't want
the big negative is you're destroying the campus for no reason, and you're getting into the retail game.
No, you're destroying it to make money. Like, okay, they're not doing it.
Make what money?
Make money?
Make what money? Make money how?
They're going to make money.
What happens when the businesses go under? What happens is then? And you're just a guy.
Be doing this,
and you're a landlord.
Be doing this if they didn't have all that lined up, and the businesses know what they're getting into.
Okay. And what happens when the businesses pull out, and then you're left fighting them trying to get rent? This is what
Danny White has another job somewhere else.
And Danny White's and Danny White's now we're into real estate development. What are we doing? That's not what you're doing on a college campus. And I'm right to speak out about it, Mark. And somebody said destroying the campus, it's a parking garage. No, that's not the point. Putting a hotel next to Neyland Stadium is changing the very decorum and the way that thing has looked. And what are we doing?
You don't think you'll make it look better than a parking garage?
Obviously not. I mean, I'm dealing with the boss. I'm dealing with the and it's just me, but I call it it's the Fenway Park of parking garages, really.
Well, I mean, look, I think it's sad how this has all become about money, but once it's become all about money, guess what it's all about? Money. I think it sucks too, but it doesn't. I mean, you make it all about money. That's what it's all about. Money.
I like how there's several. What was the number, Matt? Less parking spots than we currently have. The new design.
I think I read.
It's less. Yeah, it's going to be less parking spots. Yeah.
Per year.
600 less. 600 less.
Yeah, 600 less.
Something like that. The parking garage holds 1,800 or something like that.
Yeah, but Danny's saying there's going to be more. And then Adam Sparks was on with us today, and he said, no, that's actually not true. It's actually going to be less. But you know, Mark, at the end of the day,
it's free content. You can feel how you want. I just don't. You know.
Yeah.
I'm out here just kind of busting chops.
I love it. No, and I'm busting Danny's chops, just having fun with it.
But I don't get how removing an eyesore of a parking garage that in building some.
I mean,
it's going to be it's going to be a bunch of disgusting national chain restaurants.
Thank you.
I agree there.
Thank you.
Gross.
Thank you. That's gross.
It's going to be disgusting, but those places are going to be packed.
Yeah, for people who want to go eat some frozen food, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, where do you go to tailgate now? That like from a bar and restaurant perspective, you got to go to the Strip or you got to go to Market Square, and then you got to walk and you got to drive. You got to take an Uber. Now you can just go right there.
You can walk. You can walk to Calhoun's. I've done it many times.
That's one.
And then hang out. But you're right. Yeah, you're right. That is one. You're right.
So now you got options.
Lumbo, you fired me up, focused me, and prepared me. When are you back in town, you punk and clown?
I was actually going to come down these last couple of days. I had stuff come up here. But I'm going to try to get down right after Mother's Day.
He's the Lumbo. Hey, Lumbo, thanks, man. You're the man.
I'll get a hold of you. All right.
You're the man. He really is a chop buster. So we found the guy. And look, I'm not. Everything Danny White does isn't bad. It's not who I am. But this thing here is it's ridiculous. It's like, what are we doing? And there's no body that says no to the guy. If I was managing him and he had that press conference where he bragged about it, I don't talk to coaches. I'd have called him into my office and said, Danny, if you say that again, I'm letting you go. Do you know how that sounds? Do you know how that sounds? And when I was telling y'all that he doesn't talk to coaches and everybody thought I was lying, you're making that up. And then he said it. He said it. Because I look, when we deal with things in real time and take the blowback for whatever we're talking about, I've gotten used to that down through the years because some of this sounds really foolish and foolhardy. As in, what AD wouldn't say hi to employees when he passes them in the hallway? It's him. It's him. He's a strange guy. And this thing here, this entertainment district cockamamie, Adam said no. Adam Sparks earlier. He was like, no, it's not the same scope. Kentucky's just doing a little thing by their stadium. He goes, this is a lot more. Well, it's just a lot bigger. Tennessee's building the biggest one. Kind of like back in the 1980s, and we had to have a stadium, Matt, that was the size of Lexington Stadium. How'd that work out, Matt? How did that work out?
Half, the top, bowl of your stadium was black curtain.
Thank you. I mean, nobody. And then Bruce Pearl came along and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to warp this thing down. And we're going to first of all, we're going to paint it black. And then we're going to do a thing like Phillips Arena does, where half of them become boxes. Look, the Battery in Atlanta, I got news for Dr. Danny. That ain't going to happen here. Tony, how do you know that? Because I know that. That's how I know that. There's a vibrant downtown life in this city, and it's around that Smoky Stadium on a Saturday night in the summer. It's not going to be at University of Tennessee. It's not. Unless they have a concert over there. You're not going to have a club in there with people playing. They're going to be down in the old city. You don't know that, Tony. Yes, I do know that. Yes, I do know that. Because that's happening down there, and people want choices. So I hate to tell you, I've only been dealing with business owners in this town for 32 years. Trust me when I tell you that thing is going to be a loser.
The fact that no local businesses signed on down there, is telling. It's telling everything I need to know.
Yep. So and if it's a Battery, okay, the one in Atlanta is a Duracell, and Danny's is like Big Lots brand. Not even Rayovac.
Dollar General.
Yeah, it's not even Rayovac.
Dollar General Danny.
Poor.
It's going to be a Dollar General Danny district.
And not to mention, it's Kiffin's Rec Lexus says, now you're going to have liability on your campus. If you're going to have establishments that sell alcohol on your campus, have we even thought about that, guys? It's one thing doing it in your stadium. It's another thing when a third-party business is doing it. With students, night in and night out. I just...
Yeah, that's not going to be a distraction for students going to school.
No, I'm talking about just the liability involved in that, just legally. We got a guy that nobody says no to, though.
Shiano Sunday. Let's Shiano Sunday this.
Get down there, Bri. When they get the dozers, Matt. I know.
Hey, John Reed, where are you at?
Well, I know what we can do. Matt. Since Brian has come out so fervently against this thing, we should padlock Bri down there to that thing. Matt Dixon, do you sign off on that? Taking one of our own and padlocking him in civil disobedience.
I mean, I don't think that would last long, but that'd be pretty funny to see. And then let's
Brian, we get a real thick chain, like the one Hercules Hernandez used to wear, and we take a couple padlocks and we padlock it right down there. Let's do it to the portion that I want of the walkway. I want a piece of that. It's so great. It's just a funny little thing to have fun with, I guess. But I'm not the one that's going to really screw up the parking for people this season to do it. And it is It is the best home schedule we've had in forever, and they're charging more now for these tickets than forever. And this team is not supposed to be very good. There are a whole lot of reasons to wait. But this Dr. Danny guy, man, he pretty original. I'll give him. Look, I'm pretty weird myself, and it takes one to know one. That cat's weird. By the way, shout out to Duke, Matt. They're starting their own package on Amazon Prime. Make sure if I got that right. Have you all seen that? That's their streaming. They're going to start their own package on their own streaming service. Is that right, Brian? Is it Amazon Prime?
I believe it said Amazon.
Yep.
3 games a year.
Yeah, 3 premium non-conference games. So.
On the way out.
Another reason to hate Duke, though.
Right, they give their students premium seats, so they gotta make the money somewhere.
Love you, appreciate you. Y'all are next level.
Beat Kentucky
and beat the hell out of them. Let's get a sweep, man. They're not even trying right now. They're not any good. What would Martin Columbus say, Brian, about them right now?
They're dead.
Appreciate you. Love you. Peace. GBO. Take the vote. Take that entertainment district. Danny Dallo. Well, that was pretty illiterate today. That entertainment district is, good luck. Mark's like, yeah, well, they're going to get them to sign these leases. Yeah, and leases are broken every day. And these international companies, then you're in litigation with them, and I'm trying to recover my money. And this business that's publicly traded is just going to walk away, and they're going to leave you holding the. And it's just how it goes. You're sorry when you go to home games, visiting Danny's entertainment district. Matt, are you excited about it? Matt Diskin.
No, not really.
Well,
no, I'm not excited about it. Not looking forward to it. So I mean, I'm sure it'll look nice, but no.
Does it speak to you? No.
No, it doesn't.
What we're going to do is we're going to put it into context today, because that's the new wrinkle. And these guys all have to keep up with each other, because I won't build an entertainment district. I won't be left behind. You know, no builder left behind. Used to be no child left behind, no AD left behind. Kentucky announced it yesterday. Ole Miss is doing it. There are a couple other schools in the league that are doing it. It's monkey see, monkey do. And it is what it is. Meanwhile, I gotta step out there for Dr. Danny and give it up for the man, because he's coming correct here, Brian. Dr. Danny's come out, Brian Hartman, in favor of a 2014 playoff, which is another thing we're going to talk with Adam Sparks about here momentarily. Your thoughts on that, Brian Hartman? A 2014 playoff, my understanding is that this is something Josh Heupel, the head coach that he hires, desperately wants as well. They want a 2014 playoff so we can get in the playoffs more, Brian. Thoughts on that?
Why wouldn't they want a 2014 playoff? Because they can make it more often.
Yep.
And it's self-preservation. Just like they want to expand, they want all these tournament expansions to 76.
Yep.
Kim Caldwell will love that, because she's probably less likely to miss it.
About Kim Caldwell, Dr. Danny said that she has done a brilliant job of rebuilding her team. I mean, this guy's so entertaining. Meanwhile, Barnes made a visit of show of respect to Juki, who's supposed to fall to the